Good morning, Raptor Freaks. Lexi Outs here. It's Tuesday, and we're starting a new season of Raptor Freak Tuesday trivia and classic cards. Yesterday, we had our first classic card season. Milbester got it. It was Isaiah Roby. And, well, you can get more trivia points today. Each question will be worth 100 points. And, yeah, the subject is the two guys who got the NBA championship that are Canadian this weekend, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Lu Dort. And I want to get in the trivia pretty quick here, guys, just so you don't, we want to, I want you guys to really try and compete off the top of your heads. I understand that people can get on their computers and do stuff to find stuff, but it's much more fun if you're really testing what you really know. In this world of AI and Google, it's really easy to be a fake smart, but to be real smart and having it up here in your own hard drive is better, especially going in the future. Trust me, people that'll be able to think for themselves and remember facts for themselves will have an edge. The people that don't, they may as well be just flesh carcasses walking around that don't even have brains. Anyway, good to see everybody this morning. Tuesday trivia, new season starts right now. Get your nameplate on the trophy like Smooth Brown Man did yesterday. That's right. Let's go. Amit's first in. Amit, his name's on that trivia trophy also for 2024. Amit Gaming 2K in there, hoping the ceasefire lasts so I can come to Toronto soon. Yeah, this is bad timing. You got to come to Global Jam, and they starting a war. It's like, what's going on here, man? It's like they're saying there's a ceasefire, but I've heard that there's not. That's just bullshit on the news right now. That they're trying to make Trump try and look good. The media has been ordered by Trump to say there's a ceasefire and peace has already happened. Because to him, it really is important that he's a peaceful president for some reason, even though he just, yeah. Anyway, I don't want to get into this. Let's not sidetrack. I wish you safety and peace in your part of the world, Amit, okay? I do, and I hope you do get to Toronto. Daniel Barry, Sports Highlights. Good morning to you, sir. Always great to see you check in with us and say hi, Daniel. I hope you're having a fantastic Tuesday. Trevor J saying, when you do too much for people, they start to love your hands instead of appreciating your heart. Your hands, what are you doing for them? Trevor, I'm sorry, man. My mind went a little dirty there. I was like, what are you doing with your hands? What are you doing with your hands? Do you know Carl Anthony Towns? No, I'm just kidding. All right, let me keep going. Thank you for the words of wisdom, Commissioner Jay. You're the awesome, man. Commissioner Fun, you made me laugh. All right, so we're saying trade with Boston, Portland, Drew Holiday back to Rip City for Anthony Simons. Yeah. Oh, my gosh. I have so many things to say about this. A couple things. First of all, Milwaukee, you idiots. You traded Drew Holiday to Portland for Dame Lillard a couple of seasons ago, and it basically chain reaction did to a Celtics championship because Drew Holiday went immediately to Boston and helped them win a championship. This is really bad for the Celtics, guys. This is really bad. This is something like I was talking about. Even if the Celtics are a darling in this league and Commissioner Adam Silver will want to keep them together, it won't happen. And this is evidence of it. Why are they trading Drew Holiday? This is ridiculous. He was one of the most valuable players to their championship just 2 years ago or a year ago now. This is ridiculous. This is crazy. The Celtics are not serious in some ways for doing this. Like, he should have been, no, we can't lose Drew Holiday. He's been so essential to our success in the last year or so since he's been here, 2 years. This is mystifying to me. In some ways, Drew Holiday is a great player. He's going to do great in Portland. He's a good guy. And Anthony Simons is a young player. He's solid. He was on my fantasy team last year. I was pretty keeping up with him. He's a solid player, but this is a weird move, man. Why did you do this, Celtics, if you didn't have to? Why would you trade Drew Holiday? I don't totally get it. The Celtics are worse for this because, honestly, Drew Holiday is the championship adding to player. And, well, they seem to have traded him just frivolously by their own choice in yesterday, which I don't totally understand this. Celtics, big L on this one, man. Yeah, I think that Celtics fans should be worried about this because they're like, why the hell did we just trade Drew Holiday? because we love Drew, and he was so essential to our championship. Yeah, yeah. I don't get it, man. I don't get it at all. Anthony Simons is a good player, but I mean, I don't get it. I really don't get it. If you want to have more of a winning player, it's Drew Holiday, not Anthony Simons. No, great trade for the Celtics. I don't agree with that. I do not agree with that. It's once again, there's winners and losers in this league, and Drew Holiday's a winner. He's a two-time champion. And if you upgraded for a younger player, I guess that's what you did. You're thinking about the future. I don't know. I still think it's a bad move. Now, if they trade Derek White also, I'm be like, what the hell are the Celtics doing? Seriously, because in some ways, Drew and Derek were two of the most important people for their championship that they won last year. Seriously, I don't get this, man. I don't see it the same way as you, Reggie. I see the Celtics championship team getting dismantled, and they're going to be worse because they're losing a very key player that helps them win. That's what I see right there. I don't care. The age is weird, man. I get it. The age is probably the reason. As for Portland, it doesn't really make sense unless they have another move in the works, moving Holiday somewhere else. I mean, let's not sully Portland. It doesn't make sense to me what Boston did. It's not Portland. Portland got a good player. In some ways, Boston got a good player too, but it's different. It's a very different thing. In some ways, it's kind of like Norman for Gary Trent Jr., but it's very much, I guess the age difference is bigger. I don't get this, man. I don't see why you think this is a win for Boston and a loss for Portland. I do not see things exactly like you these days, Smooth. That's for sure. And I think this was a horrible trade for Boston. They're stupid. They're stupid. This guy is adding up the winning to their team. So what? They're going to do that? That's stupid, man. If they move Holiday again, I'm not going to speculate any further. Just he's in Portland now. Hey, he could be in Portland. Trevor saying, great interview by Dan Tolzman yesterday about the Raptors. Yak is not going anywhere, neither of the young players. Yeah, good interview with assistant GM Dan Tolzman on the official Raptors admin, briefing for the draft, talking about the draft. He made it very clear that they're going to draft best available at 9, regardless of position. So in some ways, I'm not going to probably get what I want. I could see them picking Igor Demon. I could see them very much picking Igor Demon. Now, Dan Tolzman did make it very clear that they didn't work out Jacoby. They didn't have a combine interview with Jacoby last season, and they've drafted Jacoby, and it went through. So it's like, look, just because they didn't work somebody out doesn't mean we're not going to draft them. They have their top 10 people on their list, and they're going to see how the 8 teams ahead of us draft, and whoever they figure out is the best quality player at that time is who they're going to pick. That's what they said straight up. Now, if they could get specifically a big man in that spot, they'll try and do that and check all the boxes. But I don't know if they will. Seriously, the way Dan Tolzman was talking, he's saying that he looks at all big men as projects, and that they're not going to be ready to come in and help either way. I mean, I would argue Thomas Sorber would be ready, and maybe Asa Newell too. Common, maybe not. Maybe Malawatch is not, but he's more of a project. It's weird, man, because I get it. In some ways, you're not going to count on a center to come in from the league to the league in the first year and contribute. But also at the same time, man, like I guess the Raptors more and more make me realize that that's a position that they like to add later with experience and savviness, and they don't like invest in the long-term time in centers very often. Now they're doing it with Ulrich Shamshay right now, and he talked a lot about Shamshay. A lot of stuff we had figured out that they were going to play Shamshay a lot at the end of the year on the Raptors big squad if he had been healthy. We also found out that Shamshay is scheduled to be playing at Summer League. Hopefully he will be healthy and will be playing at Summer League. So it's interesting. The Raptors, I guess, in some ways, one of their MOs is that they don't draft bigs because they'd rather get them through free agency or trades. And in some ways, that's hurt us for having bigs. I don't like that they don't have a pipeline of bigs coming in. So in some ways, y'all maybe rethink this seriously. I know maybe in some ways that's how you hurry up and do things like you did with Marc Gasol, adding him as the last piece for our championship year in 2019. But in some ways, I still feel like, I mean, Shamshay is our project at the center right now, and he's going to really pay off in the end. Watch. But I'm like, man, why? I guess I understand why they do it this way. But this is very much showing the signs that it's going to be draft for best available. Is what number 9 is going to be. He said it straight up yesterday. He said that straight up. That's right. Ahmed's saying, you think Drew will be moved again? My prediction, Sacramento will make a terrific trade and trade a first-round pick, Devin Carter, Malik Monk, and Jonas Valanciunas for Drew Holiday. Yeah, man, you just you're presupposing too much. This is too much speculation. In fact, I've heard Jonas is not even coming back to the NBA this year. He's going to leave and go back to Europe and play this season in Europe and not even come back to the States to play in the NBA this year. So that's a lot of supposing there, Ahmed. A lot of supposing. Smooth saying, I just don't see the Blazers being a contender. Drew is a chip piece. Maybe the Blazers fancy themselves a playoff spot. I don't see it. You know what, you guys, shut up with this whole thing about players deserving to be on chip teams. You know, I'm getting sick of this shit. There's 30 teams in this league. There's only a certain amount of jobs in this league. And just because Drew Holiday is in his prime for winning championships doesn't mean he deserves to be on a championship team or a playoff team. I'm so sick of this idea of like, oh, I just deserve this. Bullshit. You don't deserve anything. You're in the NBA. You work hard. Hopefully things will work out for you, but nothing is for sure or guaranteed. And this is the thing that people were complaining about with Siakam on our team the last couple of years. Oh, we don't want him to waste his years in Toronto playing on a bad Toronto team when he's playing really well. We don't want Chris to sit on the bench and waste his years playing for Toronto when he's having his best part of his career. We don't want Drew Holiday to sit on the Portland Trailblazers on a team that's not contending. Bullshit. Nobody deserves nothing. They get their spot in the NBA and they go where they go. And honestly, you're lucky if you get to be on a playoff team for most of your career. You're lucky if you even get to go to the finals once. You're lucky if you get to be on a playoff team. And there's no guarantees and nobody deserves nothing, whether it's Drew Holiday, Chris Boucher, or Pascal Siakam. You get what you get. Siakam's lucky he got to go to this team, the Pacers, and be happy and get his joy recaptured. Chris Boucher's saying some shit now that he believes he should go to a team that wants to win right now. And if it's not going to be the Raptors, he wants to leave. I'm sick of this shit. Y'all are getting paid millions of dollars to play in the NBA. If your team is contending, well, be grateful. Be grateful. If your team is not, well, be grateful still because you're still in the NBA and you get paid. Drew Holiday doesn't deserve jack shit, Reggie. He gets what he gets. He can go wherever the NBA tells him he goes. And if he stays a year on Portland, so be it. Doesn't mean he needs to go to a championship team or any other team. This is the NBA. Life's not fair. I'm sorry. That's just how it is. So, yeah, you guys saying, oh, no, he needs to be moved again just because of that? Nah, I ain't about this. You know, everybody has to be somewhere in the league. And maybe you're in a bad position. Maybe you're in a good position. Be grateful that you're just in the league. How about that? Because a lot of people are just on the outside looking in and would love to be in the league. So I'm sick of this attitude. Just because a player's good doesn't mean everybody gets to be on playoff teams or contending teams. That doesn't mean that. There's going to be some players that are going to be on bad teams because that's just the way the NBA is. There's no guarantees for anybody. That's right. That's right. Nako's saying Blazers aren't a contender. There's value in pushing for the playoffs, and Drew probably rises to a play-in. Celtics won the trade. I don't think so. I don't think so on either one of these things. Any of what you're saying, Gerald. I don't care if the Blazers are a contender or not. I don't care if Drew Holiday rose them up to play in or nothing. They could miss the playoffs completely again. It doesn't matter. Who cares? It's just a movement. If it's a needle pusher for the Blazers, probably not, because the Blazers are run horrible and their team don't make no sense. And Drew Holiday, you know, like I said, he's a two-time champion. He's an all-star. He's all these other things. He has accomplishment. Who cares if he goes to a shitty team in this year? Seriously. And Boston did not win this trade. They traded one of their crucial pieces of winning in this trade. And in some ways, that tells me that they're about to rebuild, honestly. It tells me they're already about to rebuild and that in some ways they need to change things from the core that they just won with last year is what I'm seeing, man. That's right. All right, guys, please try not to research at all on the trivia. And I did want y'all not to comment anymore. Seriously, I need to do this trivia, and y'all are writing in more stuff still. Here we go. Trevor's saying Ace Bailey canceled all his workouts with teams in the top 5, Washington, New Orleans, and Brooklyn. Yeah, I mean, you know what? Ace Bailey's been shooting himself in the foot. His draft stock has been falling. He's not a consensus top 3 anymore. He's looking more like a consensus top 6 at this point. He's fallen out of the top 3. Seriously, VJ Edgecombe is getting more esteem at this point, and other players like Trey Johnson. So, yeah. You screw around with your career and not show up in certain things. I'm telling you, that don't look good. That don't look good. And a lot of people are talking about Ace Bailey in a bad way at this point. Hey, it's Cool Cat. Good morning, Raptor Freak Crew. Good to see you, Coach. Happy to be back today. And I was out for over a week from work in here. Lots to catch up on all the previous sessions. Yeah, we've had a lot of stuff going on. I know you've also been very busy following Siakam and the Pacers. I feel so bad. I wish that they had won. I was rooting for Pascal. I wanted him to step up after Halliburton went hurt and take over and just win that MVP and win the game for the Pacers and win the championship. Alas, it didn't happen. And it was going to be tough to do anyway in Oklahoma City, no matter what. But man, that was tough. Good to see you back, Cool Cat. And I'm playing you this week in the Fantasy WNBA. Good luck, Coach. Good luck. Fiercey saying, good morning, fam, and happy Tuesday. Good morning to you, Fiercey. Good to see you, MJ. We're going to play some trivia in a second. Nako saying the Celtics are rebuilding, in my opinion. I will agree with that, Gerald. I think that this is what this is. Now, I'm telling you, if Derek White gets traded next, I'm going to be like, what the hell are the Celtics doing? They're weird, man. They're weird. They got new ownership, right? Maybe their new ownership stupid. There's no telling. New ownership comes in like Matasheba, and you see what happened to Phoenix in the last couple of years of Matasheba being the owner. So I don't know. Maybe the Celtics are in a weird place, man. Seymour saying, Lex, they want to keep White, Brown, and Tatum, so they can't afford to keep Holiday. They don't have the cap space. See, that's what I'm saying. The new salary cap in the NBA is making it hard for teams to stay together after their championships. And this is a huge piece from that piece. I'm telling you, Drew Holiday was the most important defensive player in some ways in their championship year last year. Seriously, guys. Yeah, Stargate's here. Good morning, Raptor Freak family. Draft day tomorrow. I hear Igor Demon's name being touted as a lot down the street here. Jason Newell's name is coming up a lot too. Very, very interesting stuff. We'll have to see. Bobby Webster has the 5. Dan Tolzman saying we're picking the best available. We'll have to see what happens. That's right. Good to see you, Stargate. Seymour saying 100% at Amit. And Coolcat saying Anthony does not play defense, can only shoot. I feel like it's going to be interesting the fit with Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum with Anthony Simons. I mean, he's a little bit more in their age group, right? So I don't know. I feel like you're sacrificing defense for the Celtics, and that's not the way you should be going in today's NBA. No, not that way. Yeah, Nako saying Lex did ask not to go crazy with the comments before trivia. I appreciate that, Gerald. If you could do the next stuff, that'd be fantastic, like you do sometimes. Mark saying didn't upgrade, but it's a cost-cutting move. Tatum's out for the season, want to get under the tax. That could be that they're already kind of punting the season next year because of Jason Tatum's injury, that they're punting and they're doing like maybe a slight rebuild. Maybe that's what they're doing. Maybe a slight reload. I guess that's what we've been calling it a little bit with what the Raptors have done, a reload. I could see this. Mark, that because of Tatum being out, that they're like, okay, we can do a couple of moves for the future. And Simons for a Holiday move is a move for the future kind of thing. It really smacks to me of kind of like Simons' old teammate, Gary Trent Jr., getting traded for Norman Powell, kind of move like that. That's right. Seymour saying they will tank next season for a decent pick and be ready the year after with Tatum. That sounds like that may be something. We're not Celtics freak. We don't give a shit about what they're doing. And in some ways, we don't want to strategize or help them. They can do whatever the hell they're going to do. Hopefully it fails. That's what I say. Yeah. Seymour's saying Pacers better be careful with Halliburton out all next year too, and Lillard out east up wide open. That's why the Raptors need to strike. And they asked Dan Tolzman this yesterday. Do you see the East being more wide open? And is this why we need to hurry up? And he mentioned Brandon Ingram. He said the reason why we got Brandon Ingram is because we wanted to speed up the rebuild a little bit faster. And that, if we're healthy this year, we should be rising to the top of the Eastern Conference. If we are healthy this year, I fully expect this because we should. Mark's saying Drew's productivity is declining and his contract's pretty big. Okay. Well, still, I'm not going to do any propaganda for the Celtics. I still think it's a bad move, and I'll keep saying it. But that is a good point, Mark, there. He is getting up there, and this may be true. Stargate saying panic move for Boston. They believe Tatum will be out probably most of next season, if not all. Yeah, I can see that. Mark wants Carter Bryant at 9. We'll have to see. I don't know if it's Carter Bryant. Bobby's got his 5. We'll have to see who it is. Seymour saying the real question is, does Indiana pack it in for the following season too, like Boston and Milwaukee, or run it back? Well, who knows? Either way, we're Raptors freak, and we're not Bucks freak or Pacers freak or Celtics freak. We're only, in some ways, I want to get back to what Stargate was saying. Let's focus on the Raptors. Let's focus on Toronto, and let's not worry about those other teams. And they can figure out their own messes and things that they're doing there. Let's see. Toronto was trying to get Drew Holiday as well. How do you know that? I don't believe any speculation. Loose limbs, 6 ships, and we do not talk about anything. I don't think we were involved with Drew Holiday at all. I'm just going to go by the official. Didn't happen. You know, you put stuff out like this, Reggie, or you promote it, parrot it. People start saying, "Oh, the Raptors are failing. They failed that they didn't get Drew Holiday instead of a thing." I don't want any kind of bullshit propaganda. People start saying we failed, even though there was nothing that was going on or anything. So in some ways, this is a non-starter. Who cares if we were interested in him or not? We don't know for sure. I would believe that's probably not true, because honestly, I don't. They may have talked to him, but once again, we don't do anything until it's official on here. They can speculate and they can talk on the phones. It's not for me to know and to talk about on this channel. And I don't know if that's true. Once again, like Michael Grange and Lewinberg have said, we don't talk. We don't talk. Our front office does not leak. And even if they did talk to Boston about Drew Holiday, we didn't get him. So what's the point of even bringing this up? So I would say, yeah, let's not even talk about that. Yeah. Let's see. Stargate said, I suspected they're going to fast track Shamshay if they don't draft a center, but Dan could be misdirecting. They have done it before. Well, he didn't leave out that he wouldn't pick the best available. And if it's a center, that could be what we get. I'm pretty sure if Mala Watts drops to 9, we're still picking him. So he's clear about, like he said, that the Raptors always draft for best available. He said that's a basic philosophy that they have in their front office. And that makes sense. That makes sense. And I'm not going to read Smooth's comment. Man, Smooth, you're annoying me, man. If you want to be Rockets Freak for a while for this year, you go ahead and be Rockets Freak, and we'll see you next year. But I'm like, I don't even want to read your comment, man, because I hate it. I hate it. And I'm kind of pissed that comment by Chris. I get it, man. I get what you want, but you're a 2-time NBA champion. You're already richer than most NBA players. So stop being like this, man. Seriously. You whatever your priority is this summer, we'll find out. If it's to stay in Toronto, well, we'll get it worked out. If it isn't, you want to go get the money, then go get the money. I'll still love you either way. You're going to be a Raptors legend. But in some ways, it's going to be very bittersweet, and it's going to be sad if Chris Boucher leaves the Toronto Raptors in the next month or so. So, guys, let's be sensitive to the priority of this channel, which is Raptors Freak, not Rockets Freak. Okay? Okay? James is saying, and Malawatch is not available. I'm picking Colin Murray Boyles. His game reminds me of Randall with elite defense. He's undersized, and I do not want him. He's on my no draft. No draft, Colin Murray Boyles. He's a red herring. In fact, I feel like they wanted the Raptors to take him because they know we'll be undersized if we pick him. So I disagree with James on this one. I'm sorry. He is not on my draft list. He's not on my draft list. Stargate saying, go easy on Reggie, Lex. He thinks KD is going to change the fortune of the Houston Rockets. Give him a break. Well, we'll leave that open to be determined later. And I have a lot of respect for our Raptor Freak current trivia champion crowned yesterday. It's just, man, I get it. He's excited about Kevin Durant, and now he's going pretty heavy on the Rockets. But let's not forget what we got going on here in Toronto too, Smooth Brown Man. Let's not forget, just because the Rockets are rising back up. I mean, you've been a Rockets fan along with the Raptors fan this whole time, but it's like, yeah, let's not like cross allegiances in certain ways where it annoys people. In some ways, look, I mean, I you'd be a Rockets fan, but also you're a Raptors fan, Reggie. And we got to remember, we're talking Raptors here. We're talking Raptors. Mark saying Drew can be a great mentor to young talent on Portland. That's definitely true. That's definitely true. I'll start with the Houston stuff, guys. All right, Reggie, you're good, man. I mean, listen, I know you're excited. I want you to be able to talk about it here. We can do that. We can do that. If Chris goes to Houston, I wouldn't be upset totally if out of all the places he could go, because he'd be back with Fred. Although they're saying they're going to decline his team option and re-sign him to a lower contract or something for Fred VanVleet. That's the news out of him. No, it's okay, Reggie. It's cool. Just maybe just a certain amount. All right, Seymour saying Brooklyn and Ace both want each other like a love connection, but if he's off the board, Malawatch is the choice. Sucks for us Raptors fans. We need a 5. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the Nets will take him at 8, so it isn't going to be like that. That's why I still say Asa Newell. Asa Newell, Bobby Webster. Do not think twice. Asa Newell. Do it. Do it. Do it. Mark's saying Boston not rebuilding, just retooling. Porzingis is next to go, most likely. Yeah, I mean, I don't care. Once again, I hate the Celtics, and I'm not trying to talk them up in a positive way, any kind of which way, Mark. That's just the truth right there. I hate them so much. All right, thank you. Nako is the co-host right now, and he's the only one keeping on track here. Y'all, I'm supposed to start trivia, and y'all keep writing stuff. Yeah. Okay, let's see. Seymour saying Jalen Green and Booker might work one attack rims, the other shoots and more shots for Book now that KD's gone. I don't see that working, man. I don't see that working. Randolph's here. Blessings, beloved Raptor Freaks, most informative gang. Blessings. Please embrace the present moment, for it is the only one you truly have. Nothing else is promised. Make the best of it. This is so true. I love being present. I love the present moment. I love letting go of the past and regret. I love letting go of the future and stress and worry about what's happening. The only thing you can do is right now. And the past is a past and it's done. Learn the lessons from it. And the future is going to be what it's going to be. And in some ways, you might get all worked up about something that doesn't even happen. So just stay present and enjoy the moment that is now. It's the only reality we have. Beautiful, beautiful words of wisdom from Randolph Phillips. Blessings to Phillips family, all the Raptor Freak families. Let's see. Seymour saying Drew Holiday and KCP, very similar situations. Yeah, KCP's going to Memphis. And yeah, I could see this. Infamous saying, salute freaks. This move Boston made was all about salary with new owners coming in. That's what I figured. It's the ownership, doing things. In some ways, it's like, all right, we talked about it. We've noted it. I don't give a shit about talking about Drew Holiday trade anymore for today. In some ways, it's like, look, we can go on and on about trades. It's not worth it. Cass saying, good morning, Lex and Rap Freak Crew. Good morning to you, Trucker Cass, the guy who beat me in WNBA fantasy. Good job. Salute the smooth brown man from Seymour. I love that. Cool Cat saying, sorry to be a downer. I read Brian Meeker IG and he suffered a heart attack 2 times. He survived, thank goodness. I immediately think of Scotty too. Hopefully he remains sturdy. Oh, wait, you're saying Brian Macon? Brian Macon, trainer for Scotty, suffered 2 heart attacks. Wow, that's sad. Well, I know my thoughts are with Brian Macon and his family and his friends and Scotty Barnes over this scary health episode. And we just hope him all the best in recovery and getting strong and just everything going back to normal for Brian Macon as soon as possible. Yeah, we don't like to hear this at all. The Raptors Freak family totally has Brian Macon in their prayers and thoughts right now. And we're thinking about, yeah, thank you, Nako. He's trying to keep us on track, y'all. Nako the Nacho, you are getting a dunk. Actually, I'm going to give you a 10-pointer because I really do appreciate you trying to corral this chat. It's crazy. It's crazy. Everybody wants to talk about important stuff. I get it. We're going to give you a 10-pointer, Nako. You're at 46. You know what? I hate that. You're not at 46. You're at 56. I hate the number 46, guys. If anybody knows why, you can tell me why. I hate the number 46. Monique's here. Good morning, Raptor Freak Crew. Dan Tolzman knows what he's saying now. We wait. Let's go. Yeah, talked about that interview already on the stream for a second. And yeah, I like these little Dan interviews. And I like the fact that they come in and orient the fans to kind of have an idea about what to expect with the draft. It's a very smart move by the organization to have Dan Tolzman come out and do these. See, they've done these the last couple of years, and they're fantastic. And also, the audio is better. People are saying, "Oh, the audio is better on the Raptors Media Day stuff." Yeah, you can hear the reporters finally, and that's good. That's very, very good. Amit saying, I agree with Nako. He wants to play trivia before the bomb sirens go off, and he has to run downstairs and loses a connection. So, y'all, we got to get going. We got to get going. Mark's saying, currently reading The Power of Snow by Eckhart Tolle. Trying my best always to be in the present. I haven't read that one. I've read The Power of Now and A New World, A New Earth. And both those books are fantastic. And I watched his YouTube channel extensively every day, every week. I'm watching him and getting more and more stuff from the New Age philosopher Eckhart Tolle. He's amazing. And Mark, yeah, that's probably a really good book. I'll have to check it out. Yeah, you know exactly why, Seymour. 46. I hate 46 because of that. Seymour, you get the dunk. You're right. You get a dunk for that. That's extra pre-trivia right there. But you don't get trivia points. You get a dunk for being on points. Sheriff knows why. We're going to give him a 10-pointer too. 97 on the dunk charts for Seymour now. 97. That's right. Nick's to interview Micah Nori. Yeah. There you go. That's the Power of Snow. That's what you're reading. I was like, Power of Snow. I've never heard of that book. That's a funny miss type there. Nick's to interview former Raptors assistant coach Micah Nori. Yeah, that'd be a tough job for him, man. I'm telling you, if he goes in there, he's gonna fail. because he's a no name, and the New York market will eat him alive. Eat him alive. I think he actually assistant coached for the Knicks in the past too. So let's see. Mo saying Jay Triano in Dallas. Why do you think Dallas, Lex? I don't know. I didn't see that news or anything like that. Jay Triano is still a Sacramento Kings coach, for all I know. We're doing trivia. Let's go. All right, we're going to start the trivia right now, guys. I've been trying to get these comments through, and so we can do the trivia. I'll put on the glasses, and we'll start. This is going to be on SGA and Lu Dort, guys. SGA and Lu Dort are new Canadian champions. The new 12 to the 12, 10 becomes 12. All right, guys, here's the first question. And seriously, y'all, don't research this. If y'all can do this off the top of your head, that would be very impressive. If I do get to a point where we're stumbling, we're not getting anywhere. Oh, no, Adriana's here. She tried all the questions yesterday, so she knows the answers. You better not answer, Adriana. She's so funny. Yeah, trivia. Adriana's so funny. She's so funny. She's gonna act like she's gonna cheat and like answer all. All right, let's keep going. All right, let's do this. All right, question number 1, guys. What is the town in Haiti that Lu Dort's family is from? What is the town in Haiti? You're not gonna play. Adriana, you're so funny. I practiced the questions with her, so she knows all the answers. And like it's funny she comes in like that. Like she's gonna play. You're so funny. What is the town in Haiti where Lu Dort's family comes from? What is the town in Haiti? Try and go off the top of your head. If you can't, okay. I figured that Fiercey might be getting a lot of the questions today because Lu Dort trivia is going to be right up her alley. St. Mark is right. Fiercey's right. It's just like our old center for our championship. Mark Gasol, St. Mark was St. Mark. Yeah. Yeah, you can't even name one city in Haiti. Well, Fiercey is getting the advantage here. Home court advantage for MJ. It's St. Mark. There you go. Next, look at Nako. What a great co-host. He's like Jimmy Kimmel on Ben Stein's Money. All right, let's go. What is SGA's middle name? This is right. We're on the classic Jurassic Tuesday trivia. What is SGA's middle name, guys? It's where my daughter's dad is from. It's actually a township. Yeah, they said on there it's like a commune. Yeah, Asian is right. Fiercey knows this one. It's not Gilgis. That's the trick question, Nako. Yeah, Asian is right. Fiercey spelled it correctly. You're not that far behind Amit, but you missed an I. So good job. Commune is the word. Yeah, commune. Yeah, they said it was a commune. St. Mark. Yeah, very good stuff. I see that Fiercey knows SGA trivia also. So let's see how she does. All right, next question. What is the nickname of SGA's college alma mater? What is the nickname of SGA's college alma mater? You know how I do these. It's like you get the college and what is the nickname of the team? It's kind of like Florida State Seminoles. That's right. Ahmed knows it's the Wildcats of Kentucky, that where he went. Ahmed Gaming back in the ring for trivia this year. Look out. Look, Ahmed is back in the ring officially at this point. That's right. The Wildcats of Kentucky. Bryce Lawson's home state there. Next. All right, let's go next, Bus. All right, what is the nickname of Lu Dort's alma mater nickname? What is his college alma mater's nickname? Yeah, what about Luget's? What is his college team's name? That's right. Who knows this one off the top of their heads? No cheating, no Googling, none of what Adriana did yesterday. The Ducks? No, it's not the Ducks. It's not the G-Hawks. No, it's not the G-Hawks. Yeah, Adriana was so funny. She was like Googling all the answers and getting them all. She was really good at it. Sun Devils is right. That's right. He went to Arizona State, and Arizona State is the Sun Devils. Arizona State Sun Devils. Beavers. I like that answer. I like that answer. Incorrect. Next. All right, let's go. All right, next question is, what team actually drafted Shai Gilgeous-Alexander? Full team answer. City and nickname. What team actually drafted Shai Gilgeous-Alexander? What team drafted? Clippers is not right. Charlotte Hornets is right. Amit's right. The Clippers were traded. He traded to get him after the Charlotte Hornets drafted him. And what pick was SGA in the draft, guys? What pick did Charlotte take SGA in his draft? Yeah, it wasn't the Clippers. He actually was drafted by the Hornets and traded. 11 is right. Fiercey's on that one. 11th pick in the draft was what SGA was. Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, Charlotte picked him at 11 and traded him. So in some ways, Charlotte fumbled SGA before the Clippers fumbled SGA. Isn't that interesting? That's interesting. Yeah, all right. I love how Nako's on this, man. He's on it. All right, guys. What is Lu Dort's IG profile name? What is his Instagram profile name? What is, yeah, he did dodge 2 bullets. He got to the right team finally. What is Lu Dort's Instagram handle? Lou the Beast. That's right. Nako the Nacho knows that. It's Lou the Beast. That's right. Nako jumping in there. He's not only co-hosting, he's jumping in and getting some answers too. Adriana, you're the trivia commissioner, so you're adjudicating and things are going right here. Just give me a shout out here real quick, Adriana, if you're officially watching over, man. That's right. Lou the Beast. That's right. Guys, I think Adriana's going to be the new commissioner of trivia, y'all. I asked her this morning and she was kind of like, what do I have to do? I was like, well, I don't know. You don't have to do a whole lot. Maybe you judge on things as far as who should get the points, you know? So I'm not the bad guy. And Adriana's saying, yes, she will be the trivia commissioner. The new trivia commissioner is Adriana for this year, y'all. Just so y'all know. That's right. All right, let's keep going. Question number 7. It totally made sense. Yeah, sit there and look pretty. Exactly. That's what you're going to do. Charlotte is crazy. You're right. They traded Kobe, too. They drafted Kobe Bryant and traded him for Vlade Divac. That's right. That's right. Yeah, they did that. Yeah, Mark keeps retracting his messages, but he's right. He's right. All right, this is the question here. It makes sense that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander went to this Tennessee high school. It makes total sense that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander went to this Tennessee high school. That's right. Yeah. Yeah, no, that's crazy, Mark, that they drafted and traded Kobe and SGA. I know. Charlotte is not a serious organization. I'm telling you right now. They're not a serious organization. It totally makes sense. That, yeah, all right. Amit's knowing it. It's Hamilton Christian Heights. He knows this. Yeah, it's Hamilton Christian Heights. Of course, SGA grew up in Hamilton, born in Toronto, but grew up in Hamilton. So he went off to high school in Tennessee. And the school he went to in Tennessee was called Hamilton Christian Heights. So that was a very apropos school for him. So Amit Gaming's getting Hamilton Heights Christian Academy is the answer. Good job, Amit. Let's see. Next question. Let's see. Hey, Adriana, be nice with me for points. Girl power. Brown knows it already, man. Brown knows it. If you ask me about Lu Dort's high school, no idea. Well, Lu Dort went to like 4 different high schools. I don't actually do this question, but his last one was a super athletic one that was in Ontario. But he went to high school in Orlando before that, Lu Dort. Wayne's here. Morning, Raptor Freaks. Draft day starts tomorrow. Fantastic. After that, looking forward to the summer league before another long drought. This is to be a winning season. Losing breaks morale. We know that. Okay, I think Adrian is fully behind Fiercey with the girl power. Good morning to you, Sergeant at Arms Wayne Strainer. Thank you for being here. We're in the middle of trivia. And yeah, I'm looking forward to the draft tomorrow. We're going to do a live Raptor Freak stream during the draft tomorrow night. No stream in the morning tomorrow, guys. Or Thursday. We're going to do live streams during the draft nights. I'll be on live on here, and we'll do reactions to the draft as that happens. So I'll probably watch most of the draft. Maybe, I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, it's only like 30 picks, so I should be able to do 30 picks both nights, and we'll watch the draft. That's right. Collusion already right in front of us. The sheriff is calling collusion, and the sheriff is a sheriff on this channel with a wrench. And in some ways, he does have some power in his department. Yeah, it's all right, Wayne. You're good, man. You didn't know. And we love you, man. Thank you for being here. She'll be fair. Don't worry. Adriana's very fair. She's very fair. Trust me. All right, next question on the trivia. It's a Lu Dort question. So let's see if MJ can get it. What was the occupation of Lu Dort's father? What did Lu Dort's father do for his career? What did he do, guys? What was Lu Dort's father's occupation? What did Lu Dort's dad do? He was a taxi driver. That's right. He owned his taxi and he had a taxi company and he was a taxi driver. That's right. Fiercey got it. Lu Dort's dad was a taxi driver. Block work. Block work? What do you mean by that? You mean standing out on the block? What is that, man? Whoa, whoa, whoa. Oh, all Montreal Haitians did that. Next. All right. Thank you, Nako. All right. All right. Next question, guys. What country did Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's mother represent when she was in the Olympics? What country did Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's mother represent when she was in the Olympics? Yeah. France? No, it's not France. Good guess, though, Nako. Antigua is right. We're going to give it to Stargate. He got it there. Antigua and Barbuda is the technical answer, but Stargate is on it. I love it. And in some ways, he's this one's just like Fiercey with Lu Dort. Stargate's got the home advantage on this one. That's right. It is Antigua. That's right. Antigua and Barbuda. That's right, guys. Good job. I was going to just take Antigua, But yeah, that is it right there. All right, keep going. Question number 10. In soccer, what position does Lu Dort play? What position does Lu Dort play in soccer? Well, he was a soccer player before a basketball player. He was short, and he played a lot of soccer when he was young. Yeah, that's right, Nako. He was the goalie. He's a goalkeeper. And yeah, that's right. But yeah, Lu Dort's a very good soccer goalkeeper. In fact, I've seen footage of him out on a soccer field playing goalie. And yeah, we got to remember he's 6'4", and that's pretty tall for soccer. He may look short on a basketball court, but he can be a big, nice, tall goalie for that. And that's what his sport was before basketball. He kind of grew a lot in high school, and then it came into he was drafted. In some ways, Luke Getz being in the league is really special, just like Fred. So yeah, let's keep going. All right, guys, here's the question we're always used to and know. And in some ways, we know how this goes. All right, so let's go. How much money will Shai Gilgeous-Alexander have earned by the end of his current NBA contract and NBA contracts? How much money is SGA going to make by the end of this huge contract that he's on right now with Oklahoma City? What is the number? 84 million is way too low. 364 million is too high. We've got a range. 240 is too low, but it's close. 258 is too high. It's just a too high. You guys are found the middle ground there. It's between 240 and 258. 3.99 million, no. 120 million, too low. 180, too low. 260 is too high. 234 is too low. 400 is too high. 253 is too high. 250 is too high. 245 is too low. 248 is too high. We're getting close. 250, 249, nope. 254, nope. 247, nope. We're close. You guys, somebody will get it soon. 247, nope. He's supposed to be the highest paid NBA contract in his player in his new contract. Yeah. 246 is the number I was looking for, and it looks like Fiercey got it first, just before Nako. So $246 million. I rounded it. It may not be exactly right, but I'm going to give it to Fiercey because Fiercey said it first just before Nako. So $246 million, guys, is what SGA is going to have in like 2 or 3 years from now. He's under contract for a few years. So yeah, it's at the end of this contract that he's on right now. Yeah. It was Fiercey, Adriana. You see it in your judgment that you see it on your screen that it was Fiercey. Okay. Yeah, you rounded low. Yeah. Gafford re-signed with Dallas. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, isn't Jalen earning more than that right now? That's incorrect. No, this is the amount that he's going to have earned by the end. I'm pretty sure that's what it was. I did the math. He's earned so far in his career 81 million, and he's going to earn another 165 still. So yeah. He's gotten 81 million so far, but he's getting way more still. All right, let me keep going, guys. All right, next question is, who has played the most games as a teammate of Shai Gilgeous-Alexander? Who has played the most games as a teammate of Shai Gilgeous-Alexander? You know, I do these questions. This is the old format. Yeah, Lu Dort is right. The answer is the other guy. It's totally right. Amit's right. It is Lu Getz. Lu Getz and SGA have played the most games together as teammates. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Now, here's the next question on this. How many games have they played together, guys? How many games has SGA and Lu Dort played together in the NBA in regular season? How many games have they played together so far? Just like the number for the money. We'll go up and down. How many games has SGA and Lu Getz played together? 246 is too low. 320 is too low. 250 is too low. 159 is too low. 87 is too low. 220 is too low. 280 is too low. These are all too low. 500 is too high. 350 is too low. 320 is too low. 350 is too low. 400 is too high. 400 is too high. 450 is too high. 399 is too high. 360 is too high. 360 is too high. Yeah, 370 is too high. 386 is too high. 375 is too high. 400 is too high. 375 is too high. 385 is too high. 343 is too low. 356 is too high. 355 is too high. 384 is too high. 345 is too low. 354 is too high. Let me just see if I see the number come up while you all write them in. Like, y'all know the range right now. You're very close. You're very, very close. Some of y'all are very close. There you go. Fiercey got it. 351 is the right answer. 351 games. Adriana, on your screen, is it Fiercey that got 351 first? Because it looks like 351 Fiercey first. Yeah, it was 351 games that those guys have played together. Fiercey, fast fingers, Fiercey. Coming through with the fast fingers. Yep. Okay. We've got the declaration from the trivia commissioner that it is Fiercey's points on that one. No collusion. She sees it right there. Sheriff, you can verify this too. You know, she could be Judge Wapner. You could be Rusty the bailiff. And like, yeah, is that right, Judge Wapner? Yes, it is, Judge Wapner. Yes, it is. I'm Rusty the bailiff. Sheriff Seymour Pate. City Slicker. That's right. That's right. Fuck this guessing game. This feels like Price is Right. All right. Little intermission. We got to give the dunk champion a dunk just real quick as a side real quick. This is so funny, man. He thinks his Price is Right. It's so good. That's so good. It does kind of feel like that. Maybe I want to be like Bob Barker. Maybe he's a hero of mine. I want to be like him. I trust you. I do trust you. It's just that, you know, it's good to have second and opinions. I trust you, Adriana. I do trust you. Don't act like that. Wow. All right. Speaking of auction questions, here we go. Check it. Well, we just want to make sure, you know, you're the new trivia commissioner. And in some ways, we got to make sure that you're on the up and up. We have to suss you out, Adriana, for being a good trivia commissioner. All right. Let's see. All right. How much money will Lu Dort have made at the end of his current NBA contract in NBA money? How much money will Lu Dort have made in contract money for the NBA? 240 is too high. 240 is too high. Yeah. How much money will he have made at the end of his? 89 is too high. Wow. 85 is too low, though. You guys are really close. 228 is too high. 50 is too low. 85 is too low. 150 is too high. 218 is too high. 145 is too high. 82 is too low. 60 is too low. 48 is too low. 83 is too low. 86 is too low. There you go. I think I see Kareem getting it this time. 87 is the number. Adriana, do you see 87, Kareem Thomas, as the number one 87? Because I think that's the first one. Fiercey's right after him on my screen. It looks like it's the dunk champ on this one. You got the Price is Right question. You just had to make the okay. She's giving the confirmation. It's Kareem Thomas getting the 87 million that Lu Dort will make at the end of this one. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, you got it, man. You got it. Yeah. Which one do you want? Do you want this stove, this range from Westinghouse, or do you want this washer dryer combo, Kareem? For getting there. Yeah. Damn, my internet sucks. It's because you're Central Time, man. It's the tubes. It takes longer, you know, that kind of stuff, man. That's like Seymour's like, I got it. But Kareem got it first, according to trivia commissioner. See, she's the bad guy now. Y'all can't get mad at me for trying to y'all can't get mad at me for trying to adjudicate anymore. It's on her now. So you can get mad at her if she adjudicates the way she does. I'm just the host. She's the judge. That's right. You're Mountain Time. That's right. She can't be bought, is what she's saying too. That's good. That's the way we want it there. Yeah. Sask, Manitoba is Central. Yeah. Wait, you're Mountain Time? Wait, I don't even know. I know I said Central Time. I should have meant Mountain Time. It's all good. She loves everybody. That's good. Yeah, I see the strategy, Lex, putting Adriana as the bad guy. Listen, I don't want to be, you know, I'm already unlikable for going off and having opinions. But, you know, I don't want to be unlikable because I made people mad in the trivia. So that's kind of why David was the trivia commissioner last year and Adriana is this year. All right, let's keep going. We still have 4 more questions. They're fun, right? You guys love the old classic Jurassic Tuesday trivia format with the salary questions. All right, well, this is one we do all the time too. All right, who are the 2 players that have played the most games against SGA and Lu Dort as opponents in the history of their franchises? Guess, guys. Don't go look it up. Who do you think are the 2 players that have played the most games against SGA and Lu Dort on the other team as opponents? Yeah. Who is it? Who are the 2 people? Chris Paul? That's a good guess. It's not right. It's not right. But it is a very good guess. It's not Chris Paul, though. Yeah, you guys can go guess for a little while. And if we're not getting anywhere, I'll start giving you clues on who it is. It's just because I know it's very open-ended. Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving. It's a very interesting guess. Nako is not right. I will say that both of these players did play on the same team last year. So if you get one of them, you'll know. LeBron James is not right. Kareem Thomas, you're half-assing it. What are you doing full ass? Come on now, write it in correctly, and maybe you'll get it. LeBron James is not right. Kawhi and Harden is not right. You're half-assing too. LeBron is not right. Trae Young is not right. DeMar DeRozan is not right. Jamal Murray is not right. Luka Doncic is not right. Anthony Edwards is not right. I mean, I kind of want to give it to Kareem, but he needs to correctly put it in, man. He needs to write it in correctly. Write his whole name in, man. Write that man's name in. Seriously, you're going to get the first one. But it's not Jamal Murray. Jamal Murray is not one of them, guys. Jamal Murray's been hurt too much. Somebody's going to seagull him. Seriously. Y'all, what are you doing, Kareem? All right. I don't know how to do this. Like, Fiercey put in Nikola Jokic. And Kareem's put in Jokic twice, but not Nikola. And Amit's the one who's put in Nikola Jokic first. So I'm going to let the trivia commissioner figure out. You're going to say, oh, Amit put in Amit, got it. Amit, you're hilarious, man. Jaylen Brown's not right. Kevin Durant and Devin Booker's not right. Jokic is one of the answers. It's just that Adriana, who you want to give it to? You want to give it to Kareem for putting in Joker first? Do you want to give it to Fiercey for writing it in but spelling it wrong? Or do you want to give it to Amit for getting it in right with the full name spelled correctly first? Those are the three options. Fiercey says Amit should get it. Aaron Gordon is not the other person. You guys can still try and get the other person still. Michael Porter Jr. is not the other person, guys. Aaron Gordon and Michael Porter Jr. are not the other person. Yeah, you guys can still get the other one. Adrienne, are you still watching? We need your judgment on this. How do you feel who should get it? Yeah, Christian Brune is not right. James Harden is not right. Russell Westbrook is right. Stargate's got the second name. Russell Westbrook is the other name. That's straight up Stargate. I can tell that's him for sure. The answer is Nikola Jokic and Russell Westbrook. Sorry, according to Lex, it's no half-ass. Okay, so who are you giving it to? Who do we give Nikola Jokic to? He put Joker in first. That is really bad. Yeah. Well, Russell Westbrook's played in the West for a while. You're going to give it to Amit? Okay, Amit Gaming, you're getting Nikola Jokic for spelling it correctly. And Fiercey said too. So thank you, Commissioner Trivia, for adjudicating. See, I told you there's stuff to do on this job, Adriana. You have been very helpful in this. Seriously. Next. All right. And then Nako's doing his job too. Wow. I love it. Yeah. It's not Tyrese Maxey. No, it's none of it. It's a Western team players, Nikola Jokic and Russell Westbrook. Even though Russell was only on the Nuggets, he played a lot of games against them on the other teams, like the Clippers. Yeah. You're canceling your email transfer to Adriana. Okay. All right. I didn't know that was going on. Maybe you weren't supposed to write that in here. I don't know. 3 more questions, guys. 3 more questions. All right. Next question. What company is SGA creative director of? What company is SGA creative director of? Yeah. What company is SGA the creative director of? That's right. And in fact, I got to say something about this in a second. Staples. He's the creative director of Staples. He is in Staples commercials, right? No, it's not right. Converse is right. And it looks like Cool Cat got it. She put an extra C in there, but I'm going to give it to her. She hit it twice. We're going to give it to Cool Cat. That's right. There's an interesting thing where Shaq tried to lure Shai Gilgeous-Alexander to Reebok because Shaq's very prominent in Reebok. And Converse, because they were worried about SGA going to Reebok, they said, you want to be an executive creative director for our whole company? And he was like, hell yeah. And so he stayed with Converse. And you know what else, guys? Today is the birthday of Chuck Taylor, guys. Actually is the happy birthday to Chuck Taylor, the name on the shoes, the old classic basketball shoes on the day of Converse. Converse Day is Chuck Taylor Day. So yeah, that's what it is right there. Good job, Cool Cat, knowing that SGA is with Converse as the director of artistic creative director. That's right. He is very artistic, and we've seen him carrying those shoes around after the game the other night. That's totally marketing right there. And you know what? Apparently, Converse and SGA are going to give out pairs of shoes to fans at the championship parade. I think the parade's today. I'm not totally sure if it's today or tomorrow, but free Converse will be handed out by SGA at the parade. It's pretty cool. Chucks are the least comfy shoe. They look neat though. I've always found them I still wear them to this day. I have a pair of Chucks I'm looking at right now over there, the low top. And they have a soft spot in my heart. I've always worn Converse for a long, long time. SG is a very creative person. Yeah, it's fitting. Yeah, he is. He is. And it's good that he has that outlet for sure. All right, next question, guys. We know his nickname is Lou and the Dortcher Chamber. But according to Basketball Reference, there's a third nickname for Lu Dort. What is the third nickname for Lugetz Dort? What is the third nickname for Lugetz? Yeah. What is the third nickname? According to Basketball Reference. Don't go look it up. Let's see who knows their Lugetz Dort. Dortress is right. Amit's got it. He's the Dortress, which is such a weird one. Dortress. Yeah, Dork. He's Dork. No, he's Dortress, like a fortress, but he's Dortress. It's a little weird. So the parade is today. Yeah, so he's going to be handing out Chuck Taylor's on Chuck Taylor's birthday today at the championship parade. Yeah. You love looking at Basketball Reference nicknames. So he knew this because he's kind of studied this stuff. I believe that. I believe that Amit has studied the Basketball Reference nicknames for the league. Dortress sounds feminine. Yeah, kind of like princess. Dortress. You are a Dortress. Yeah, they're so dumb sometimes. For sure. That's right. Lu Tue, Electric Boogaloo. I like that one. Why don't you edit Basketball Reference, Gerald? Go ahead and put that one in there. I think that's fitting. Why not? Lu Tue, Electric Boogaloo. Why not? Let's go. Let's put it in there. All right. Well, last question of the day, guys. Good job today on the SGA Lu Dort trivia for today. Of course, it was going to be on these guys. Of course. Last question. What is the name of SGA's son? What is the first name of Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's 1-year-old son? What is his name, y'all? What is the name of that little guy? That's right. Lu Dort's best nickname is Dortcher Chamber. For sure. Cool Cat. I agree. I would have said Sweet Lou, but that's Lou Williams. Sweet Lou? Yeah, that doesn't totally make sense. I guess, yeah, Sweet Lou would be Lou Williams. Lu Dort. Yeah. All right. G saying Aries. He's got it. Aries is right. And G, look at that. I love to see this. Our original Raptor Freak Trivia champion jumping in. And I'm going to give a Monique points on this too. She came in and got it right too. Aries Alexander is right. Yeah. He just came in and got the last question for the air. And that's fitting. His name is on that trophy. Amit's name is on that trophy. Smooth's name is on that trophy. And so is David's. That's right. Beautiful name. Aries. You know, I think it's with an I, guys. I'm not totally sure. Aries is of course, the sign for that month that he's born in. He's in Aries. So that's partly why the name is that. But, also Aries is a god, a Greek god also. And that's part of it right there. Yeah. You wrote the full name. Hand me my money back. What did you write the full name? You wrote the full name with Alexander on it. I know. All right. You guys want to share this last one? I'll give it. Adriana, do we give Kareem Thomas points for full assing the Aries Alexander answer after them? It's up to Adriana. It's totally up to her, Kareem. Either she says yes or no. And maybe yes. Okay, you do get it. All right. See, she wants to please people. She doesn't want people to be upset. So she's going to go ahead and say that Kareem is going to get 100 for that too. Yeah, points. Oh, your vote is the points go to Amit. Well, you weren't in on that one, Amit, apparently. So, yeah, I'll add up all the scores for today's trivia. Thank you for playing. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Lugetz Dort trivia. It's good stuff. Good fun stuff. And, yeah, timely for the championship that just happened in the NBA. So good stuff, guys. All right, let me put my pen up there. And, yeah, we'll continue with our chat now. Thank you, Adriana. The money is being sent. Isn't there enough corruption in this world right now? Jeez, guys. The grift is on. I didn't know Adriana was enhancing her income by being a trivia commissioner here. That's right. She's got more integrity than this. She cannot be bought. That's right. She cannot be bought. All right, let me go see what's going on. First of all, we got WNBA games tonight. We got Minnesota Lynx at Washington Mystics. Isaac Barnett is the crew chief. Fatu Sissoko Stevens is the referee, and Kelly Broomfield will be the umpire. The Sparks are at the Sky tonight. Randy Richardson's running things with Teresa Stuck and Agan Abazi. Atlanta Dream at Dallas. Tim Green is the crew chief with Tiara Cruz and Claire Aubrey. And Indiana at Seattle Storm. Eric Bruton, Gina Cross, and Jeffrey Smith. That's your ref report for tonight's WNBA games. Get your fantasy WNBA teams set up. Do the waiver wire if you got to. Get that waiver wire going. That's right. Kareem saying, I hated this trivia. I know they are Canadian, but they beat my Nuggets. Yeah, you know what? I had a little bit of this isn't really Raptor Freak trivia. This is Thunder trivia, Lex. but it supersedes things. These are Canadian champions, and they're on our Team Canada, and this is an MVP, and they were prominent champions that had a big deal in the Game 7 to win, both of them. So, no, we had to give that shine to these Canadian guys because we're proud of their achievements. And, those achievements in the NBA will help them in the achievements in the FIBA coming up for our country, nation, and fighting for prestige in international basketball on major levels. So this achievement in NBA is going to be great experience for people like Nebhard, Mathurin, Dort, and SGA. I'm all about it, man. I'm all about it, man. But I get it. I get it. At least your guys were an answer to the question. Joker and Westbrook. I'm saying Kareem Thomas low on funds. Send mine over too, please. I for some reason, Ahmed, I do not believe you're low on funds. I do not believe that. Trevor's saying Tyrese had his surgery yesterday. Yeah, he wrote a statement about it and how heartbreaking it was to get hurt. Yeah, it's tough, man. It's tough. There's a lot of things that people have been saying in the media. There's a lot of people trying to interpret what Siakam said as a negative thing about the Raptors. Once again, guys, understand that teams go up and down in their franchise history. And Siakam was riding through a down with the Raptors franchise. And it's not an indictment of who the franchise is or that we did things poorly or anything. It's just it was a bad time and place, and he just happened to be present for it. That's the thing I'd say about that. I think, and in some ways, it's like some people are using it because they'll use any opportunity to slight the Raptors. And I feel like that's not fair. In some ways, look, the situation did not work out. Sometimes things don't work out. You have a group of people, a coach, a group of players in a certain time frame, and sometimes things just don't go according to plan. And the things with post Kawhi, post championship, post Mark Gasol, post Serge Ibaka, the Raptors just didn't get their identity right with the core, with OG, Fred, Pascal, and Norman. They just didn't get their identity right and to the level of winning where it was good to invest in. And in some ways, it's like, look, we can't keep trying to go back and change things in our heads. A lot of people were calling for them to get traded before, and now people are calling, why did we trade them? It's like we can't win with some of these people. Just understand the Raptors franchise did the best that they could, considering the whole situation with the pandemic and Tampa and everything that was going on. In fact, Nick Nurse being on the down low, a very toxic coach for our team for those last 2 years he coached us. So it's like, it's easy to see why, you can take Siakam's statements after the game and say, oh, he was in a bad place. He got saved by the Pacers. That's true to an extent. But in some ways, it's like, look, he should be very grateful and lucky and feel lucky that he went to a franchise where things worked out. That's not always guaranteed. And in some ways, he has to thank Masai and the Raptors for trading him to a team that would be like that for him. Because he could have gone to the Hornets. He could have gone to a lot of other teams in this league, and it would have been a disaster. So the right attitude for Pascal is gratitude. And him, understanding that means a lot. But don't get it twisted, y'all. The failings of what happened are not necessarily the failings for Siakam personally. They're not necessarily the failings for the franchise as a whole either. It's just that it didn't work and it didn't happen. And I blame Malachi Flynn. I'm just basically going to say that. I'll just end on that with that. I'll just say that right there. I'll just say that. I'm just going to blame Malachi. Malachi's the easiest person to blame, the whole reason for why that core didn't work. I'm just going to say that right now. Let's see. Nako's saying number 9, Kasparis, and number 39, Hanson Yang. Interesting. We did work out Hanson. He came to Toronto and worked out at OVO Center. Dan Tolzman talking about players that come and work out for us and ones that didn't. Some of them are saying, oh, we won't come to Toronto because we're not going to be there at 9 for sure. Huh? What? In some ways, like the reality of the draft may surprise some of these young players that are coming in as far as like what they get picked. And then all of a sudden you are getting drafted by Toronto and you didn't even come and work out for them. So let's not just look at the list of who worked out for the Raptors and think that that's the only thing that's going on, because Dan Tolzman made it very clear. The Raptors don't need to work somebody out to draft them, and because Jacoby Walter was that last year. And so we can't just go by who we brought in and say this is who we're likely going to pick. In some ways, that would very much point to Igor. as being very much the 9th pick for the Raptors because he's the only guy kind of in the range that did come up here and work out for us. I wouldn't listen. Common didn't work out for anybody. He's not on anybody's list for working out. He may have been at the combine. He may have done some things, but that list that was put out by all the teams who worked out where, I didn't see Malawatch's name on a single team's list. So, reading into who worked out for who before the draft to figure out who's going to draft who is not a way to do it. Because you're never going to, and like they said, they didn't realize that Jacoby would fall to 19 last year, and they so happily drafted him at that point. And Jacoby's very happy on the Raptors too, very, very happy. They didn't formally do anything with him ahead of time. They watched him, they knew about him, they understood him, they were friendly with his representation, and it all worked out. And in some ways, drafting Jacoby was a little blind. Getting him, and you didn't know for sure if he was going to be happy being in Toronto, but he was, and he's really embraced it, and he's making the best of it, and he's making huge strides already just a year into his NBA career. So that's what we got to remember when we're looking at this draft tomorrow. And I'm glad it's tomorrow, man. It's like we do this Tuesday trivia, and boom, next time I'll do a stream will be for the draft tomorrow night, and it's gonna be a lot of fun. My final 5 going in the draft once again is Common Malawatch, number 1. Asa Newell, number 2, Thomas Sorber, number 3, Jean Berenguer, number 4, and Maxime Renault, number 5. Those are my 5 favorite picks for this draft. I know they may not work at 9 totally, some of them, but I think that the first 3 do. I think that the first 3 are plausible number 9 picks, and that's Malawatch, Newell, and Sorber. And even Berenguer, he could be picked at 9, and it would be a stretch because that kid has a crazy wingspan, but he'd definitely be a project. Fiercey saying, so hearing people say the East is wide open due to players being injured is weird to me. We can never predict what will happen. In some ways, though, this is kind of a predictor. Jason Tatum not playing for the Celtics for most of this year is going to hurt the Celtics. And they really do seem like they're going to have a down year where they're maybe not trying to all out. It may very well be Boston's going to have a half-ass tank year because they're going to try and do something with the draft and different things with their salary cap. This is actually a good predictor of teams being bad the next year, franchise players or important players being out. So, no, this is not something that is unpredictable. This can be predicted. And I know that it seems like, maybe some of these guys will step up, but usually the case when a team loses a superstar for a year, well, it's like David Robinson being out and they're going to try and draft Tim Duncan at the end of the year. It's that kind of stuff. That's right. Adrienne had to take off because she has to go help her grandmother. Yeah, I hope everything goes well with you and your grandma today, Adriana, and that she's feeling very well and having a good day. Yeah. Monique saying, Chris Boucher spoke with Hoops Hype, the team thoughts. Yeah, I'm not happy with his comments. In some ways, I made a statement at the beginning of the stream about this kind of idea because somebody said, oh, Drew Holiday deserves to go to a playoff team, not Portland. Chris is saying, oh, I don't want to wait around on the Raptors if they're not going to try and win. I want to go and play right now. Nobody's guaranteed anything and promised anything. Chris, Pascal, Drew, it doesn't matter. Like I said, Pascal's very lucky he got to go to Indiana and get in a good situation. He could have got traded to a bad situation. He could have gone somewhere, but Masai cares about him, and he looked out for him. In some ways, Drew Holiday not being on the Portland Trailblazers is not a thing. He can be on the Trailblazers. Who cares if he's old and he's on a bad team and he's run out of time? Who cares? There's no rules in the league that anybody has to be catered to for their own specific selfish needs. And that's why I'm saying the same thing to Chris Boucher right now. It's like, look, if you're a free agent, you have your destiny in front of you. If Bobby and Masai don't come correct with the money that you want, yeah, tell them no and walk and go get the money you want somewhere else. I'm just saying. But making a statement like, oh, if they're not going to be trying to win, I'm going to waste my way on the bench, because he did basically kind of openly say, I didn't play guys because I add to winning too much, and the Raptors weren't trying to win at the end of the last 2 seasons because in some ways they were trying to, tank on the down low. I just don't like this kind of statement. Chris, you're a 2-time NBA champion already. You aren't guaranteed or deserving of anything. You do what you do in this league, and in some ways, you hope for success. You hope that you end up on a team that's in the playoffs, in the finals, and winning a championship. But there's no promises in this league. And honestly, like I said yesterday, maybe some of those Indiana Pacers will never, ever make it to the finals ever again in their career. There's no guarantees and nothing. Some players never ever even sniff the finals. And man, you have 2 rings already, Chris. So I'm just going to say that nobody is deserving or guaranteed anything in this league. Just because you worked hard, just because you did everything right. No, this is a cruel league. This is a league where you might get traded to the Charlotte Hornets and out of the blue, and you're just fucked and living in Charlotte. So I'm just saying, nobody deserves nothing. You get what you get, and you're lucky if you get good situations and places that you get sent to or things that happen in your career. In some ways that statement by Chris bugs me, Monique, because in some ways I was like, look, I get you got this attitude about it. And in some ways you're painting more of the picture that we understand and things. I get it. In some ways you have to be self-centered and just worry about yourself. But I want to remind everybody, there's nothing promised to anybody in this league. There's nothing promised to you in your own damn life. Seriously, think about it. There's nothing promised to any of us. And we need to be grateful for what we get in certain ways. That's what I'm saying right there. That's right. G saying Siakam was talking about COVID bubble and that more than being in the middle of a rebuild, nothing to do with Toronto. Yeah. I mean, this is really dark years. And we saw it. Like I said, he was depressed in interviews. You could tell the man was going through things. And I felt bad for him. We talked about it and covered it on this channel. I say, man, Siakam's down. I can tell. He's just not right. He's just not right. And I felt bad for him. And I get it. He's in his prime of his career. And you want him to go to a team like the Pacers and compete and get to do stuff like what he just did. And I'm very happy that he did. Don't get me wrong. I'm not a hater on this. But once again, I want to remind everybody that the NBA is cruel and it's a business. And it does not necessarily want to cater to specific players' needs and wants. And in some ways, Siakam should be thanking Ujiri that he loves him and that he would trade him to his favorite choice after the Raptors. I mean, listen, Siakam, in some ways, the inner turmoil in those last couple of years was like, I want to stay in Toronto. I'm dedicated to Toronto, just like DeMar. I always saw myself in a Raptors jersey, and I wanted to continue that. And he saw that the writing was on the wall, and it wasn't going to happen. The Raptors franchise wanted to turn the page into the Scotty Barnes era, and that had to break his heart in a little bit. It's not exactly like DeMar getting traded for Kawhi Leonard, but it's a long, slower process of heartbreak over a period of time that you kind of had to go through and he had to adjust to. And then when he finally was traded in Indiana, it was easy because he'd already done the mourning. He'd already done the sad parting away from the Raptors franchise, a team that he never wanted to ever leave. And he wanted to be like DeRozan. It's tough. It's tough. In some ways, would it be easier to get blindsided like DeMar and just have to leave the team you want to play for just suddenly, like reeling? Or is it easier to know it's coming for like a year and a half and kind of be going through the motions, getting to that point where you know it's going to be coming regardless? It's got to suck. And especially you got to feel helpless to Siakam because he's trying to make it work in Toronto so that he doesn't have to leave. And the success for the team is just not happening. And I blame Nick a lot for this. I think that Nick Nurse blowing up our team to go to Philadelphia just happened to coincide with Pascal's dreams of staying on the Raptors longer. And Nick is a bastard for, in some ways, screwing up that core with Fred and OG and them. In some ways, it didn't work, and fundamentally, it had problems. And we did need to turn the page and go forward with Scotty. But also at the same time, how much did Nick fuck them up from being successful? And if they had been successful, when was MLSE going to actually invest in that core to keep them together? I don't know. We'll never know. It only goes the same way it happened. And I think this is an important distinction that G made here, that a lot of his bad feelings aren't towards the Raptors. Some casuals will think, oh, he hated being on the Raptors. That's the very casual, basic take on Siakam's post-game interview is, oh, he hated being on the Raptors, and he's so happy he's on the Pacers. No, that's not the case. He very dearly loved being on the Raptors. And part of his sad depression was that it didn't work on the Raptors and he had to go. That's the truth right there. That's it right there. Kareem saying this also in the chat. Let's see. No. Fiercey, the East is definitely wide open. Major injuries to all-star players. Perfect time for us to make the move on this lap as others hit a pit stop. It's kind of like we're on a different beat than a lot of these teams. They're going through something that maybe we went through like a year or two ago. And now we can be on an upswing and healthy this year. We can jump up And the great thing is, if we do this right, we can put roots in being in the top of the Eastern Conference again, like the Raptors were for most of the 2010s. We need to establish that we are a top Eastern Conference teams once again this year. And going forward, we need to be a perennial Eastern Conference playoff team. And that's what we want to set up this year. That's very important. We don't want to be a one and done or just rise up for 1 year and have a good year and then be shitty the next year. We want to establish something and build, just like Kyle Lowry and DeMar DeRozan in the early 2010s, going towards our second Larry O'Brien. And this year's a great year for us to jump up and steal somebody's spot from the top Eastern teams. This is a great year for this. Fiercely saying that Kareem, I get it, but Dame and Hallie were streaky. Tatum was more consistent, but when the Celtics missed their assignment, aka 83 pointers attempts, laugh out loud, they're meh. Yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see these teams, Milwaukee, Boston, and Indiana, without very crucial stars, how they'll do next year. It'll be very, very interesting. Does this automatically mean Cleveland's the top dog and they're going to do well? I don't know. Nothing's guaranteed. And that's the unpredictability that Fiercey's reminding us of. I don't think that Orlando, like I've seen like the championship odds that came out and they put Orlando up really high. I don't see that just because they got Desmond Bane. Come on, man. Orlando's got serious problems. They're not in good place right now. I know people think that, but they really aren't. They really played horrible this year. And they really messed up some of the growth that they had built down there with Jamal Mosley as a coach. In some ways, I've worried about their coach not being totally believed in by the players. And there's other things going on there on the download. That I'm not ready to anoint Orlando to jump up. I'm very much confident in Detroit Pistons being a legit team up near the top of the Eastern Conference than Orlando. And I think it's kind of weird that prognosticators are already putting Orlando up there with Cleveland, Milwaukee, and Boston. They ain't proved jack shit. No, they ain't proved jack shit. That's right. Ahmet saying, my favorite thing about Lex is hating Malachi. Fuck him. Yeah, I mean, seriously, I'll blame Malachi Flynn and I'll blame Nick Nurse for the reasons why the Raptors were bad from Tampa on. Like, seriously. Malachi Flynn, huge fail as far as our backup point guard. And you see how important Shed is just after 1 year and how much he adds up to our bench being way better. And we had a horrible bench the whole time Malachi Flynn was at the point guard off the bench. Yeah, anyway, yeah, Ahmet likes that kind of content, me dumping on Flynn. Well, he's in Turkey now. Smooth saying, with Boucher, I feel that he wants playing time on a contending team. With his age and time in the NBA, he wants that chance. Nothing is owed, but I appreciate the desire. More guys should be like that. Yeah, it's the right action. And in some ways, I'm coming down on him, but it's more because I'm sad because I probably see the writings on the wall that Chris is not going to be a Raptor very much longer. And in some ways, I don't like that. In some ways, I want Chris to be loyal to Toronto, and I know he is. And if he can work things out with Bobby Webster, he will. But also at the same time, in some ways, I don't really want to see Chris in another jersey. That's part of the problem here. My own emotions are getting me upset about this. And for the most part, I haven't been mad at Chris, but seeing this statement kind of made me mad this morning. And in some ways, it's like I shouldn't be mad at him. It's his life. He only gets one, and he needs to go for what he wants now while he can. I get it. He cares more than just collecting a paycheck. Yeah, he's a special player. That's why I want him to stay in Toronto. And I feel like if we're going to be jumping up and try and win this year, well, we can be that team you're talking about, Chris. We can be that team that's contending, and you can be playing winning basketball in the playoffs next year with the Raptors. That's what I'm saying right now. You ain't going to be wasting your time with us this year. We just need to stay healthy. Now, does he gamble on whether we are going to be good or not this year and stick around with us and hope that happens? Or does he go and find another team like the Rockets, as Reggie said, and goes there? I don't even know the Rockets are guaranteed this either, once again. That's what I'm saying, man. Let's see. Kareem is saying, we need to stop blaming Malachi Jeffrey Jordan. Nick Nurse and his staff have not developed one single player during their regime. Scotty got Rookie of the Year, and that's because of his surroundings. I would say this, that Scotty won Rookie of the Year on his pure talent and just who he is. I don't know if Nick Nurse had a whole lot to do with it. I don't know. I'll diss Nick Nurse to an extent. We know Nick Nurse's development history is not that great. And it continues in Philadelphia. at this point. Also, yeah, it does. Fiercely saying, great job commissioning Adriana. Yeah, the new commissioner of trivia is Adriana. That's amazing. I wouldn't have called this. This actually just developed this morning. I just said it as a joke this morning. Say, you want to be the new commissioner of trivia since you're so interested in my trivia game today? And she's like, what do I have to do? I was like, well, I mean, you don't really have to do anything unless you want to. She did kind of commit to writing the trivia one week. So maybe Adriana's going to write the trivia for us sometime this summer, guys. So we'll have to check out what happens with that. We may have, she's a really good trivia player. That's the thing. In some ways, if she was playing Raptor Freak trivia, she'd be mopping the floor with you guys if she was serious about it. But she plays trivia later on tonight with her her social group that she meets with online, and she always wins. Like she's mean. Like the host in some ways has to hold her down because she is just too dominant. And in some ways, like it's just a testament to how brilliant and how many facts Adriana knows. Seriously. So she comes by this honestly. She's a trivia juggernaut, is what I call her. She's a juggernaut of trivia. Amit saying Noah Senge, who is in the German League finals, is leaving his team to attend the draft, shows his priorities over winning. Wait, they're in the league finals and he's going to take off and go to the draft instead of helping his German team finish it out? I guess, I mean, that's tough, man. He's got to think about himself. And he's being selfish to his German team? Man, that in some ways, I don't like that. That's a strike against the Senge. Dude, don't worry about showing up for the draft and all that bullshit, bro. You could get drafted either way. Go finish your job in Germany, bro. Seriously, that I'll lose a point with that. I wonder if Ben Saraf, who is also on the same team, will do the same. Well, if he's not a high lottery pick, probably not, maybe, right? I don't know. This is weird, man. I don't like this. In some ways, this gives me a strike on Senge, that he would leave his team like this for just himself. I mean, I get it. It's a rite of passage. He wants to be there. He is going to probably be in the lottery, and he probably will get to go on the stage and get the hat and all that stuff. Man, but priorities, in some ways, priorities is what I'm wondering here. OKC is trying to move into the top 10. Seymour saying Zach Edey re-injured his ankle, will miss the start of this next season. Yeah, that's old news. We knew that before he got his reckless driving charge last week, driving a Kia Sorrento. We knew that he was already going to miss the start of the season a while ago. Wayne saying, my previous comment was based on Pascal's mutterings, which I think stem from excessive losses plus Nick's bullshit behavior. Darko has to execute on his system and guys to buy in and produce wins. Yeah, I mean, there definitely was friction with Siakam and Nurse at some point, and they may not have totally fixed their relationship through the whole time, right up until the end. Of course, Siakam outlived Nurse on the team. And, the whole comment was stop playing piano on your life. That was a very pointed shot at Nick Nurse. That was a true shot on Nick Nurse, for sure. For sure. Darko is going to be a great coach this year. We're going to see a great passing system. And I'm excited to see this year with Barbecue and Jakob and our draft pick and Brandon Ingram. That's what I'm talking about. Brandon Ingram, baby. Let's go. Seymour saying Shaden Sharp is going to bloom with tutelage from Holiday. Yeah, that's a great leader for Shaden Sharp, and that'll benefit Canada. Once again, Shaden Sharp is going to be a fantastic player for Team Canada down the road, and I love it. That's right, Seymour. Kareem saying Toronto legit wasted his prime sitting on the bench. Chris has been a spark plug and been ready to contribute. He's 32 now, and he really started to thrive 2 years ago as a bench boss. It's a shame. Yeah, but still, he's making like how much money? He's in the NBA. He has an easy life. He's happy. He's got God in his life. He's got a child in his life. He's got all this stuff. In some ways, I don't get this, man. I don't get this, bro. It's like, it's not a shame. He plays in the NBA. The coaches, the GMs, and the people in some ways decide whether you play or not. And it's not totally up to you. You can do everything you want to do. And the weird stuff with Chris is just part of it. I mean, I got to look at this in a way that it's like, look, man, nothing is promised anybody, and nobody should be acting entitled, is what I'm saying as far as things with this. Mo's saying, W stream, W vibes, go Raptors for life. Keep at it always, Lex. Thank you, Mo. I've missed your cutoff. There's been some days, wow. And Trevor's done a good job in some ways, and Fiercey too, of jumping in and doing my cutoff for me. And I appreciate it. But I appreciate your, just helping limit the comments. I appreciate that. Appreciate that. Fiercely saying driving reckless on a Sorrento is crazy work. Not dissing Kias. I own a Sportage, but I would have thought someone his age would do such move on a sports car or something. Yeah. It's weird that he's driving that, but maybe he wasn't driving his vehicle. Maybe he was driving somebody else's car just for the hell of it. I don't know. It is kind of weird, the car he's driving. Yeah. Totally weird. All right, let's go further with our tabs. Today we're talking about drugstores for the straight goods on Canadian goods. You know, Home Hardware is really good for hardware, right? It's better than Home Depot. It's better than Rona. It's better than any American brands, and it's even better than Canadian Tire. It's better than those. You go to Home Hardware, you're buying from a local company. And, well, they have this for drugstores too, guys. Like, you know, Shoppers Drug Mart is Galen Weston, is Loblaws. And that's a huge corporation, and they are Canadian. And you would be supporting Canadian goods, but in some ways it's like supporting the Walmart of Canada. Loblaws, a monopoly that's trying to crush small business. And that's why I say don't go to them. Go to Vince's. Don't go to Home Depot. Go to Home Hardware. Don't go to Shoppers Drug Mart. Go to IDA. IDA is like the version of Home Hardware for drugstores. They're independent drugstore, Canadian-owned company that is mostly locally owned branches in your neighborhood by a family or a small business. And you're buying from a small business supporting local. IDA is the right network. And if you want to make that change in your life, like, you know what? Shoppers is convenient. It's easy. It's everywhere. But if I really want to support local small business and Canadian business, IDA is the way to go. And I'm going to start going to the IDA down in Sutton very, very soon because it's the closest one to my house. And I'm going to go to IDA and I'm going to buy a new toothbrush and buy my toiletries and stuff. So IDA, you see the IDA drugstores and pharmacies in your area of Canada, you're supporting, just like Home Hardware, a local business and usually a family-owned drugstore. And it's not a big, huge corporation that Galen Weston owns. So straight goods on Canadian goods, IDA for your pharmacy needs. How about that? IDA. There you go. Boom goes the dynamite. There you go. Boom goes the dynamite. Most saying, I'm surprised how fast Summer League is coming around. Yeah, I mean, these playoffs were exciting, and they really kept our attention. You know, the rest of the summer is going to be a bit of a haul on this channel without any international games like the Olympics or FIBA World Cup. But I'm excited about the draft tomorrow for sure, and Summer League, and, you know, just all the other off-season stuff that's going on all the time for sure. Yeah, for sure. Let's see. Cool Cat saying Siakam was called selfish and Masai cut off contact with him. Remember, he had experienced mental issues with the bubble. Racism, a subset of the fan base became very malicious. Dark days. Yeah, that's all part of it. That's all part of it. Yeah, the communication between the front office and Siakam got fractured. There was a summer where they didn't really talk. The summer before Siakam came back for the last half season, that was tough. And Masai actually kind of apologized about it in the pre-season interview and saying, yeah, we probably could have talked and reached out and talked a little bit more with Siakam in some ways. It's tough, man. It is really, really tough because in some ways, you know, Masai and Bobby are trying to run a team as a team and as a business, but they have that family aspect that's extra. And that makes it what's hard. In some ways, they could easily be cutthroat guys like Jerry Reinsdorf and Jerry Krause in the Bulls history and be absolute jerks and just be totally business and not think about family or the human side of things with the players. So in some ways, when you ride both sides like that, there can be some ugly stuff like DeMar DeRozan's trade and miscommunication with Siakam at some point because business at a certain point has to be done a certain way, and it's not nice. It's not nice. And like I said, which would be better? Would it be better to get blindsided and get traded from the Raptors like DeMar did, or go through an extended long period of time where you're still on the Raptors, but you know that your end on the Raptors is coming? That's got to be tough, especially when you, in some ways, in the middle of it, and you got to be like, you know what if I do this now? If I do this, can we change everything and I can still stay, Masai? That'd be tough. And Kukat has some really good points. He dealt with a lot of bullshit from the bubble, racism, and yeah, there's a lot there. There's a lot there. And I know that people called him selfish because there were people from MLSE that told me that he was being selfish from behind the scenes. There was my source from inside the building that is around the team in certain ways and was saying that, and I didn't want to believe this at the time. In fact, I was discounting it and I was like, I don't want to believe any of this shit because I love Siakam and I don't believe it. But they were saying that Siakam was a real problem behind the scenes because he was becoming a bigger personality as far as a superstar and he wanted certain things a certain way. And the Raptors weren't willing to do it for him because in some ways they were going in the direction of Scottie. And that in some ways there was some problems with that. I don't believe that, though, because Siakam is a team player. He's a nice guy. He's not selfish. He's not greedy. And that whole label of Siakam being selfish within the team, I don't tend to believe it. But somebody from within, my source said that he was absolutely toxic because he was being a little bit more throwing around his weight in certain ways that, maybe he deserved because of what he was doing for the team, but also at the same time, some people said it was distraction and not the right thing. Because in some ways they were saying Siakam was more worried about his brand, more worried about his own selfish things, like his business and stuff like that. I don't believe that myself. And when this person told me this information as an employee of MLSE from the inside that saw it behind the doors, behind the scenes that we don't see as the public, I didn't want to believe them. I didn't want to believe them when they told me all this. I'm like, yeah, that doesn't sound right. That doesn't check. But there has been some talk that in some ways this was part of the issues with both him and Anunoby and Van Vliet, that they were all kind of like getting a little bigger because they were getting more preeminence in the league. They were coming out more in their prime. They were having more achievements. People said OG wanted a bigger offensive role. Freddie was doing more marketing and doing more stuff for him. We can see how this could be possible. But I tend to not believe it about those guys because I really do feel like team first. And in some ways, if their outside lives and their lives about like their branding and how they're trying to position themselves selfishly just for themselves was getting in the way of the Raptors at the time, I don't totally see that. So I didn't agree with my source. And that's why I didn't really put on blast when they told me. And this was not recent when they told me. They told me this a while back, and I just sat on it. I didn't want to make Siakam look bad. I didn't want to talk trash about him. I didn't want to even put this out because I didn't want to believe it. And I still to this day do not believe it and think it's true. But somebody from the inside said that was what it was. That's what they said, that in some ways that was part of the problem. That was part of the problem. All right, let's keep going with this stream. Amit's saying FIBA under 19 World Cup starts on Saturday. Awesome. I see the Canadian women's and Canadian men's team are ready. Smooth saying, Cool Cat, the actions against Pascal were hurtful, no matter how you call it. Building around Scottie, etc., Darko's mandate, it will never be a good look. Raptors should be ashamed. No, they shouldn't, Reggie. No, they shouldn't. This is a business, once again. And, they chose Scott to build around because in some ways is a future. No, they shouldn't be ashamed of anything. They actually should be they should be looked up to because they treat it a little bit more humanitarian than other teams, honestly. Other teams can be way colder. Trust me. Some guys have gotten traded in the middle of games that they're playing for teams. Harrison Barnes got traded in the middle of a game once. He was playing for a team, and the team straight up traded him in the middle of the game. So don't give me this crap. You can say the Raptors should be ashamed, but out of all the 30 teams in this league, they're one of the more humanitarian as far as how they treat the team players. And Masai Ujiri is the reason. So, yeah, you don't give this crap. Siakam, nothing's guaranteed. Once again, you're coming from this whole idea that everything was just supposed to be handed to Siakam like he deserves whatever he wants. No, this is a cruel-ass world, and the NBA is a business. And in some ways, just because you think that this is what should happen for this person doesn't mean reality goes that way, or even that people are working towards that happening for them. Things get screwed up all the time by poor management by GMs and just stupid moves. And sometimes players are knuckleheads and they lose opportunities. This is a weird, very chaotic world in the NBA. And they were right to build around Scottie because this is the future. And I would honestly, If they had invested in Siakam in a major way, which I know a lot of y'all wanted to do, and y'all are still pissed that we let go of Siakam, and we just stayed mid and not playing very well through the whole era of Siakam, and we were paying him so much money and we weren't getting anywhere, I'd be more mad. Seriously, because we would have held on to the past to the detriment of our success. And that's what I'm trying to tell you guys. The Raptors know better than us. They live on the moon, and Bobby and Masai could read how things were going with the metrics and the way that things were going on the team. And in some ways, they made that decision to jump to Scotty's era very, very much determinedly. And I'm glad they didn't half-ass it. They could have been half-assed wishy-washy and say, no, we want to do the Scotty era, but, Siakam should still be around and this and this. No, they cut the cord and they had to do tough decisions that were tough to do, just like trading DeMar. And I agree with them because this new crop and this new thing we're doing right now is happening the way it's supposed to post Siakam. I mean, we can get sentimental and say, oh, I wish Siakam was still on his team. Yeah, I'm with you on that. But the right business decisions were made. And nobody should be ashamed. It's the NBA. It's a business. And in some way, once again, like I said, Siakam should be thankful that we gave him his first choice, Indiana. That's what it should be right there. Darko's mandate, well, he's the new coach. He's the new idea of what he wants to do. And that's like anything. You bring in a new coach, you bring in new owners, you bring in a new GM. They're going to want some of their own people and their own philosophies and stuff. And that was part of the interview when Bobby and Masai interviewed Darko, was part of why they hired him, because they liked the sustainable idea of his offense. And it's the right move. And in some ways, sure, guys like Gary, Pascal may not have fit totally with Darko's offense. And that was part of the reason why they had to leave too. But there's nothing wrong with that, because Darko's offense is the future, and we're going to need it. We're going to need it. So, yeah, I can't say this. I mean, I'm sure Masai has felt ashamed at a couple times. Like trading DeMar, he probably did feel ashamed to a degree. And, not getting things exactly right with Siakam to be a Raptor for life. Maybe he does have a little feeling of ashamed in that. But seriously, out of the 30 teams, think about how humanitarian the Raptors are to their players compared to the other teams. Let's just say that. Fiercely saying, I have a feeling there will be more Raptors-related content to come for the summer. The team should regroup soon. Summer League and next summer too, Lex. And Toronto Tempo in the mix. That'll make things a lot easier. This may be the hardest summer that I ever do on this channel, because this is the last summer before Tempo come in. And when the Tempo come in, well, Lex is going to be doing the Tempo like he does the Raptors. Previews and reactions every single game for Toronto Tempo's schedule. And it'll make it a lot easier for me to fill the days in the summer. Trust me. To have the WNBA team to follow alongside with it. In some ways, it may take away some of the offseason stuff that we're used to being very regular. There may very well be less Tuesday trivias and Thursday think tanks and stuff like that in the future, because we are I'm going to be on top of Tempo and covering them at that point. Cool Cat saying, also, folks have to realize Siakam doesn't know any other type of basketball but the NBA and was mentored by Lowry and DeRozan. And he puts down roots here. He was inexperienced about the business of ball. Yeah. And Todd Rempere and different people around him have helped him a lot. His brothers, his family. Siakam, listen, I'm going to say this right now. Siakam is a true Raptor in his heart. He loves our team. He loves our city. He loves our country. His time playing for us is over for now. Who knows what could happen in the future, but it's not likely. He's going to be a Hall of Famer. He's also going to be in our Raptors, and he's going to be a valued alumni. As I said, he's on my top 4 Raptors of all time. And, there's nothing he's done that's wrong. There's nothing we did that's wrong either. It's just like a relationship. Sometimes you may date somebody, and you like each other and it totally would work, but the parameters of timing and certain things don't work, and it can't happen. So that's part of what this is that, there may have been a lot of love and a lot of very, very, very deep feelings for both sides, Raptors fans and Siakam. But in some ways, the real world things and parameters did not allow for it. And we have to accept that, guys. That's just how life is sometimes. It's not always fair. And it's not always going to work out in the ideal outcome that you would like. You could have everything that's right with that person, and it's not going to work because of some real world implications and settings. And that's just how it is. We got to accept this in some ways. Cool Cat has a very good point. That Siakam, in some ways, was very naive when he showed up in Toronto as a rookie for the Raptors. And he's learned and grew so much in his years in the NBA to this point. That's right. And I'm very proud of him for these playoffs, and the where he took the Pacers to is a huge accomplishment. He definitely got way more shine and more respect. And a byproduct of that was he made us look good too. And I appreciate Siakam for it. And he was very graceful in defeat on Sunday night also. And, you know, I'm very proud of him doing well now. Man, I wish they had won. I really do wish they had won, though. Monique is saying Colin Cowherd ranks the last 7 NBA champions. He's an idiot. Did anyone else see it? Yeah, whatever. Like, you're an idiot, bro. Once again, NBA guys who are ranking championships, you got to remember, Raptors are not easy to get championships because we're the only Canadian team in the league, and y'all should give us a bump up just for that. But yeah, Colin Cowherd, Monique, look at who is number 1 on his list. That tells you all you need to know about whether that list should be taken seriously. He put the bubble championship for the Lakers as the number 1 championship in the last 7 years, and then he put the Celtics second. So that tells you all you need to know. That guy kisses the ass of the mainstream NBA, what they want, Lakers and Celtics bullshit. And seriously, you immediately see that Colin Cowherd's list is not legit when you see the Lakers are number 1 for 2020. Seriously, that's all you need to see right there. Wayne saying, what I remember is Pascal's parting letter. I don't think his assertive actions were negative. It's a business, and taking actions for yourself is noble to me. Yeah. Listen, the thing you got to understand is you can only control what you can control. You can control what you say, and you control what you do, and you can control how you react. Now, if something happens and it's out of your control and you can't do anything about it, well, figure out what you can control besides it and go and take power in that way. And in some ways, that's exactly what we're talking about here with Siakam. It's unfortunate. If he could have worked out with the Raptors, that would have been great for everybody. But it didn't happen, and we need to let that go. In some ways, we need to be protecting RJ. Y'all want to protect Siakam. Seriously, because some people are like, we need to trade RJ. I'm like, who the hell are you? Get the hell out of here. RJ Barrett needs to be a Raptor for a long time. That's right. That's right. Let's see. Smooth saying, let's see. Oh, Cool Cat saying Siakam didn't have an issue with the Scotty era. He figured he would be like a mentor to Scotty like Lowry. However, front office thought otherwise. The issue is just how parts of the exit occurred. Yeah, in some ways there was a miscommunication. In some ways there was a disrespect. But, you know, you could say there may have been a little bit both ways. You know, some of it was also negotiating. You know, Bobby Webster has to work with Todd Rempere as a representative of Pascal. And, you know, some of the stuff that may have happened may not have been totally because they wanted to disrespect Siakam, but because it was tactics for negotiating. We know in some ways, look, these guys the front office is really smart. They operate in a certain way. And some of the things that they probably did that were disrespectful were partly because of tactics that a front office in NBA does, you know. So it's sad that it had to go like that. I like that. Yeah, Siakam could have seen himself in the Scotty era. And I'm sure Scotty would have loved to have Siakam there too. But once again, the price tag and the different things. I mean, once again, we don't know better than Masai and Bobby. We have to understand that. We have to understand that. Smooth saying maybe they already knew they were going to trade Pascal, hence the Darko hire. Yeah. I mean, they could have they're always projecting way out and thinking about things deeply ahead of time so that they understand what may be coming and being able to react and take advantage of whatever the issue or thing is. So, yeah, this probably is true, Reggie, what you're saying. Amit's saying, let's go Raptors Freak Fridays and Tempo Freak Tuesdays. Yeah, well, I'm just going to cover the game for the Tempo when they start playing, just like I do the Raptors games. It'll be the same format, and it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm excited to get more intelligent about the WNBA, and I'm really going to be a beginner in the beginning, and I may be bad on covering the WNBA in the beginning, but trust me, I'm going to catch up quick. You know basketball, and it's going to be fun to really, really get as familiar as possible with our Toronto Tempo team like I do the Raptors. I really am, Teresa. You can understand this. I'm going to be watching y'all. I'm going to be a Tempo freak. I will be giving you the same treatment that I do the Raptors, and you'll love that. And you'll be happy about that because I'm going to hopefully stir up some more buzz and noise for you guys and get more butts in the seat, at least help a little bit. Let's see. Smooth is saying Darko never seemed that he wanted to actively include PS in the new concept. Let's just say this. And we talked about this a lot at the time. Siakam, in some ways, his offense, the way the Raptors were using him in the years leading up to before Darko, was very much isolate, beat one-on-one stuff. And that is not Darko's system. That's what we have to remember. That is not Darko's system. Now, listen to what Dan Tolzman said. What did he say yesterday? He said, we need to draft two-way players because if we draft somebody who's offensive-minded and not defensive, he's not going to play for Darko. Now, I don't think this has anything to do with Siakam, but this could have something to do with Gary and Chris. As far as like if they're not playing to a certain level on defense and guarding certain ways, that could be part of the reason why they got benched around Darko's era. Is that, that Dan Tolzman saying that yesterday, saying we know from learning that if you don't play defense, Darko will bench you. That could be a part of the reason why Chris has sat in the last 2 years also, is partly that. I don't blame Siakam. I don't think he ever missed a defensive assignment, and that's why he got benched. In fact, Darko played Siakam a lot, but he didn't really fit with our offense. And in some ways, having Siakam around on our team was holding up Darko being able to implement his offense fully, because in some ways he had to cater to some of the stuff that, in some ways Darko's Pascal's more used to. In some ways. And in some ways, Siakam finally leaving allowed Darko to really get more of his true system out there. I think that Siakam could have adapted. He's that kind of talent and player that he could adapt and do anything. But in some ways, it wasn't totally his comfortable wheelhouse at that time, is what I'm saying. And, it's weird because, I see what the Pacers are doing, and it's similar to what Darko's doing. So I'm like, well, if they could fit him in and do what they're doing with him, why couldn't we do that? I do have that question. I don't think that Darko had a really serious problem with him, though. I really don't. Cool Cat saying, anyway, Siakam was able to regroup mentally, and now his latest accolade is Eastern Conference Finals MVP and NBA Finals. I look forward to his Hall of Famer jersey and rafters for Raptors and maybe Pacers. Will be here this summer. Yeah, he's going to come up, I'm sure, in the near future and check on Toronto and be here for a second. But yeah, I'm really happy for him. This is an extremely successful year, even though they didn't win. And they absolutely kicked the Eastern Conference ass. I'm so happy the Eastern Conference champion is the Pacers and that Siakam is the MVP. Way better than Boston, Cleveland, Orlando, any of those other teams, New York, any of those other teams. Thank you, Pacers, for taking out some of the big teams in the East in the playoffs this year. Doing a good job with New York and Cleveland and Milwaukee. That's huge run right there. That's a huge run. That's right. Mo's saying, well done on your collaborations with Brian, by the way. Thank you, Mo. Yeah, those were fun. They were tough because they were very late, and I was pretty tired. You could see how stoned Lex is by the end of the day. And Brian's always saying that. He's like, yo, bro, how much did you smoke today? I was like, bro, it's just at this point around midnight. Yeah, I'm blitzed, bro. I am totally blitzed by then. And it's just how it is. But they were fun to do. And I think there will be a lot more collaborations in the future between To The Point and my channel in those kind of ways. I'm just not sure how regular they'll be. But they were fun to do. Maybe we'll make it a finals thing. Like maybe every year Brian and I will cover the finals like that together. Because it was fun. Check out Brian's draft preview coming out on To The Point today. It's going to be dropping. I make an appearance on there giving my top picks for the Raptors to pick at 9. So, yeah, he's got a bunch of people on there giving their picks. So, I'm just one of them on there. Let's see. And I appreciate that, Mo. That's very sweet of you to say. Wayne saying that rumor about him doubling back if traded hurt also because he had to deny it. Yeah, that was just silly people being sentimental, thinking, oh, no, it can't be true. You're going to double back, right, Siakam? You're going to double back, OG, right? Yeah, that's more just kind of silliness. They see that he has to sign a contract again. And they think, oh, there could be some sort of way that he'll double back. Yeah, that was so ridiculous and kind of silly, both for OG and for Pascal and even for Davion Mitchell. Some people are saying he's doubling back to the Raptors this year. Nope, he's not. He's in Miami. Cool Cat saying Siakam is coming here this summer for his PS43 foundation. Canada's second home outside of Cameroon. He's good. Yeah, he is. He's good. And honestly, people can interpret his statements after the post game how they want to. If they're a hater of the Raptors, they can embellish it and make it seem like it's a very negative portrayal of the Raptors in Siakam's mind. But the truth is so far from that he loves Toronto. He loves the Raptors. He loves being in Canada because he's coming back. PS43 is still here. He's still got a house here. He's on the record for saying he always wanted to be a Raptor his whole career. And he's not going to mess that up. I mean, he's like Fred. They are good. They're going to be good. Kyle Lowry, they're going to be good. DeMar, he's good. Vince is good now too, which is great. And I like when our players are good with us. And there's nothing wrong with what Siakam said. But some Raptors fans may be all butthurt and acting weird because Siakam said something that seems somewhat negative about the Raptors. I'm not. We just need to read between the lines and understand the truth and where everything is with that. That's right. And Cool Cat's exactly on it. She's a Pascal Siakam expert. If anybody's going to know the truth about Siakam, it's Coach Cool Cat. That's right. All right, let's get that classic card. The second classic card of the year. We'll do this one. This one's stupid, man. This one's stupid for a couple reasons. So let's do it. Classic card of the day. Who is this idiot? Yeah, you guys know who it is. Go ahead and just write it in. You know who that is. Classic card of the day is an idiot. He's worried about Canada. That's right, Amit. That's right. That's the idiot Jeff Teague, who recently on the podcast said Canadians are taking over, and I don't like it. I don't like it. What can we do to fix this? Canadians are taking over the NBA. SGA and Lu Dort. Whatever, Jeff Teague. You're an idiot. You know what? This is what we're doing today. Yeah, that's right. Ripping him up, just like Patrick Beverley. That's what you get, Jeff Teague. Less cards in the world of you, buddy. That's right. You're done. You're done. You're done. He wore 00. Who cares? He's a loser anyway. He calls himself a loser on his show, and he is a loser. That's right. You are a loser, Jeff Teague. All right, that's right. Jeff Teague, you are the classic card of the day. Amit got it. And you know what? I don't even want to give you hardly any points for this, Amit, because he's such a douche. I feel like that's too easy. I gave you a good clue, too. So I'm only doing 50 on that one. He got the Goran treatment. Patrick Beverley treatment. Ripped up card. That's right. That's right. He only wore a 0-0 for a season. Yeah, I'll take it. You got it, bud. You got it, man. Good job. All right, let's see. What else do we got on my tab still? I got a couple still. We got to do Raptors Reddit. Oh, yeah, Instagram stories. We haven't even done that yet. All right, Vin Banyani was at Basketball Without Borders at Asian Pacific Cup. He was doing coaching there. And Tyrese Maxey was there also. Lu Dort celebrating the championship on his Instagram. I've added him to my Instagram checks as of today. And I love to see Montreal's Lu with that Larry O'Brien. He's going to be coming back with that thing. It was going to North Montreal no matter what. That Larry O'Brien was going to be going there no matter what, whether it was Benedict or Lu bringing it back. That's right. There's a bit of this champagne shower in the back for the Thunder team after the game the other night. Eric Smith is very grateful that Indigo has called his book, We the Raptors, the most anticipated Canadian book. And it'll be on sale starting yesterday online till July the 6th. So you can get it ahead of time right now online. We the Raptors, brand new book by E. And it's 30 Raptors from 30 years of profiles on 30 Raptors from 30 years of Raptors. There you go. I love it. I love it, Eric. And I'm going to have to get that book. We the Raptors. And my birthday is in August. I'm just saying. Let's see. Real Mo Pete is out in the heat out in the lawn with his shirt off, and he's doing the summertime thing, man. Morris, you're a badass. Always loving our Morris Peterson Iron Man. That's right. That's right. You go on then. He's down south. He's wishing a happy 40th birthday to his buddy. I'm not sure which one of his buddies. Yeah, and he's that Kelly Olynyk still in Asia. He's over. I think he was in South Korea, and he's on the streets, and he's getting pho. He's getting noodles. He's got all kinds of good stuff. He's taking pictures of big urns. They're making sushi in this one room. These ladies are making sushi and getting it ready for people. And wow, look at the sashimi. Look at the dumplings. Kelly, stop this, man. You're a food terrorist. Also, Kelly pointed out, as a proud Canadian, that the reigning Finals MVP, the Conn Smythe, and the World Series MVP are all Canadians right now, guys. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Finals MVP, Sam Bennett, Conn Smythe, and Freddie Freeman, World Series MVP. So we should be proud, Canada. There you go. Jamal McGlure on his is got more on the stuff with the revelers and Caravana coming up. He's got some people in dancing and trying out. Here's some words of wisdom from Jamal. Work hard, dress good, eat well, talk less, stay humble, avoid drama, and chase goals. There you go. That's good. Let's see. What else is he saying? He's riding around, having fun, I guess. I don't know what's going on there. That's a weird. Yeah, who is that? Jamal Shett has got Scotty Barnes on blast with a big, huge dunk on here. What is that? He's saying these videos got it, bro. JB, funny as hell. Oh, he hadn't seen Jamison Battle freaking out with his crazy monster stomp after Scotty's dunk. So he's reacting to that. Also, he's posting Emmanuel Quickley's latest little clip of him working out at the University of Miami, the Emmanuel Quickley archives. And Jamal Shedd's putting his buddy number 5 on blast. It's good to see teammates supporting each other. That's right. Let's see. Slim Duck is celebrating Lu Dort winning the championship with his mom there and holding her after he won. It's so nice, the emotion. And I know Chris has a special bond with Lugetz, so he's very, very happy for him becoming a champion. Chris is on that Love Island tip, man. He's posting clips at Love Island. And like he said, if you really want to talk to Chris, if you see him in public, talk to him about Love Island. He will talk to you. He's excited about it, and he will talk about Love Island with people because it's his thing. He's got Lugetz showing off his championship jacket with the welcome to the torture chamber and different places that he was, like the Sun Devils signia, like we did in the trivia today. All his life, he got a really cool Letterman jacket with all kinds of different patches that mean different things. Very, very cool to see. Chris is on the court with the 25 on, and he's playing Sizzla, Be Strong. In Wale, he's listening to Wale too. Love Arts and Basketball. What is that? There's some sort of event coming up on the Slim Duck Foundation. They got Love Art and Basketball and more Love Island posts. Of course, Love Island all day, every day. Chris Boucher. Jacoby Walter is posting his draft look from last year because it is draft week. And they are getting the draft ready, Raptors, by posting our past draft picks like Jacoby Walter of last year. There you go. He's at Baylor, it looks like. Jacoby checking in at Baylor with Ease Missy 17 hours ago. So the former Baylor Bears are there working out. Quickly getting off the truck. He's down in Miami, guys, right now. That's where Emmanuel is. Where in the world is Emmanuel Quickly? Well, he's in Miami. That's where he is. He's in South Florida. He's out with his guys in the Florida Heat. Raptors Reddit, Raptors admin has got Jamison Battle's reactions going crazy. Very, very crazy. Jack Armstrong has new representation. He's gone with the Spotlight Agency. So he's welcomed Jack to the Spotlight Agency, his new representation. Grady Dick is putting on blast Jamison Battle for his goofy face reactions too. Norman Powell coming into Landowski College and doing something in France with the kids at a camp yesterday. Of course, Norman has been in south of France for a couple weeks now. And yeah, he's doing some fun stuff down there in Cannes, talking to the young youth about basketball and stuff like that. Let's see. What else do we got? Is there anybody else we got to do? Jared Roden is still on vacation at a beautiful beach. Wow, look at that amazing scenery that Jared Roden's at. Toronto Tempo has got Queer Van Hoops, Community Spotlight. And Andrew Jones has got Kevin O'Banner and the 905 event the other day from the MLSC Launchpad Reading Challenge event. Fantastic stuff. Giving back to the community. I really love seeing Kevin O'Banner back. I wonder, is he going to be on 905 this year? Is that why he's here? I have no idea. Yeah, and the kids are working out. The Jones kids are working out. Coach Jones got them working. There's your Instagram story for today. That's right, Instagram. Have a blessed day, fam. All right, Fiercey, I appreciate that. I'm almost at 2 hours. I'm going to get done right now. Let's see. Happy birthday, Chuck Taylor. It is Chuck Taylor, the Great Shoes birthday and Converse birthday. And yeah, we did trivia today on Converse's creative director, Shea Gilgis-Alexander, and the great Canadian champion from Montreal, Lugetz Dort. I hope you enjoyed the trivia. And thank you, Adriana, for adjudicating today on the classic Jurassic Tuesday. Well, it's just Raptor Freak trivia, the first one of the season. I will add up all the points from today's questions, and I will put the totals, the new totals for the new season, because we rolled it all back and it's totally starting over. There's the lead is to be had. Anybody can take it now. All right. Thanks for watching the Raptor Freak stream. Tomorrow, no stream at 9:30 in the morning. I'll be going on during the draft tomorrow night and live streaming during the draft, reacting during the draft. And we'll do the Raptor Freak stream later on. I guess the draft's at 8. So maybe I'll go on at 7:45 tomorrow night, guys, for my stream. So no stream in the morning, just so y'all know. All right, y'all. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, share, and join. And don't be like Jeff Teague and xenophobic towards Canadians, because Canadians are the best players in the league right now. That's right. In all those 3 major sports, just like Kelly Olynyk said. Let's go, SGA. Let's go, Lu Dort. Let's go, Raptors.